Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Power Back Conference here. We'll be starting right now. I'm sorry for the delay. I'll be your host and Willis Janvier from La Loche, Saskatchewan. I am the host of Deniate Podcast, and today we're going to be joined by Marissa Bear. She's from Ahtahkakoop, Cree Nation. If you want to say hi to everybody that's out there joining.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. So we've got another day of presenters here for you. We had to get a little set up, but we'll get this going here today. Today we're going to have Marcy Whitefish. She's going to be opening up with a dance here in a little bit, and then followed by Rachel Yakakut. She is a life coach. And then Amber Dawn will be joining Amber Dawn was the makeup artist yesterday. And Amber Dawn at 12:35, followed by another dance by Marcy. And then Alex Starblanket is in the house with us here tonight, Starblanket Clothing. We're going to see another jingle dress dance. And then Cindy Tatusis, the family support worker, social work. And also Haley Rose, a national ambassador of hope. And then Rob Swan, CASP, is going to join us for more tools. And throughout the day, make sure you're listening. Go out and share this page. We're going to be giving away prizes. We've got 6 gift cards left. We've got a $50, $50, $100, $20, and then the Cabela's. I'm not sure how much it is yet, but so welcome back. And Marissa, thank you for joining me here today. And what do you think of the conference?
Well, thank you for having me. I think this is a great opportunity for people to really think about what they want for themselves. Like getting our power back and just being you openly and freely. That's about it.
Nice. Good job. She is a youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation. Yay, sissy, you go girl. It's all about empowering others to take the power back. And that's the message here, is her mother's dream to have this event. And, she went to seek one and said, hey, I want to do this. And here we are. We've got a 2-day conference, and we've got another day of presenters, and then a jingle dress dancer. And also we have videos of youth from Ahtahkakoop here. I'm going to play right away. And then we will go right into the jingle dress dance demonstration here after the video. So stay tuned. Make sure you go out and share the page, follow, and then stay here with us because we'll be giving away prizes. We've got merch, gift cards. What else have we got? I believe that's all. I think we got some more T-shirts, lots of stuff. So make sure you're hanging out, and then we're going to be asking questions and giving away gifts. And I'm sporting the Nihio Hustle clothing cap today. Thank you, Mussy Cho, for that. And everywhere we go, we got to support Indigenous entrepreneurs, Indigenous success stories. All of us, we are all one together. So with that, I'm going to take it over to the videos. We've got about 10 youth from the nation here that made a video. So there we go. Just had to testing 1 2. Let us know if the sound is off or anything. Don't be shy to point out anything. But here we go. Here's the youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation.
Hi, my name's Kola Hennique. I'm from Ahtahkakoop First Nation, and I'm currently in my 4th year of social work, and I'm alcohol and drug free. And I have a message for the youth to stay disciplined, and I'll go about how my ways of staying disciplined was through sports and staying active. That's how I kept my mental health on check and stayed on top of it, is boxing, soccer, hockey, and those kept me busy during times of stress with school, during COVID. And my other message to youth is to stay positive through it all and never give up.
What are some ways people can create a healthier lifestyle? By looking after themselves, like mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. Even physically. Going out, doing what makes you happy. Or applying for a job to save money for the future needs. Talking to your therapist.
How much discipline do I need in order to achieve my goals? I need to tell myself that I can do it and I'm worthy of doing it. I need to be in a clear head mind. Like my head needs to be clear. I have to be telling myself that I want it and like really want it. I guess it's just all in mind. All in the mind power. You have to want it in order to achieve something that you really want, you know?
If I was given an opportunity to use an establishment or invest in one, I would start a house cleaning business which would serve elderly, disabled, and single parents in my community. Maybe even other communities if it gets that far. I would apply for grants to start it up and maybe pay some wages until I can establish an income and see where that leads. Thanks.
Okay, some ways that people can create a healthier lifestyle is reach out if you feel stuck. Take new opportunities outside of your comfort zone and build routine or structure in your day-to-day life. Being physically active, and instead of watching other people do what you would love to be doing on social media or any other platform, then go out and make it happen.
All right, thank you from the messages from the youth of the Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation, and yours truly next to me. She was the last one there to send out a good message. And you know, as youth from the Cree Nation, what are some of the things that you see for the future that will help everyone out?
For the future, more opportunities and more support and help. I've had to work very hard, which seems like a little. It's never too much if you really want it, but it's tough when you're trying to get out of a situation where you just feel stuck, and everywhere you turn to, it kind of seems like they kind of brush you off, and that's not the best feeling. It's really discouraging, but you got to stick to it and you'll get there.
Just stick to it and you will get there. So we're going to have a demonstration from Marcy Whitefish. She is, what's Marissa's go-to song for karaoke? Oh, we're going to do a quick demonstration, and then we've got our first guest lined up, our presenter, Rachel Yayakakoot. So we're going to open up with Marcy, and then we'll get right into our next presenter.
Tansa, Natasiga, Sun, Marcy Whitefish.
Have any more side steps to sing for?
It's nice to see everybody here today, and I'm very honored to be here, and hope you enjoy my dancing.
Contest tonight. I think you guys sang them all. Go, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the final two. Kotsi versus Tangshi, Northern Cree. Showtime.
Ooh, hola. She's just deadly, deadly jingle dress dancer, Marcy. Thank you for joining us here this afternoon. So with that, we're going to go over to our first presenter. Everybody is happy to see the jingle dress dancer. And with that, I'm going to introduce Rachel Yayakakoop. She is a life coach from the not the Ahtahkakoop, the Beardies and Okamasas Cree Nation. And so give her a round of applause if you're in your living room or kitchen just having lunch. Give her a welcome, Rachel. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me today. How's everybody doing?
It's good. Everybody's how you feeling there, Marissa?
Great.
She's great. So with that, once again, thank you for joining us here, Rachel. If you want to take over, and I know you've got a lot of tools for everyone to, be able to balance themselves and loosen up throughout the day. So we'll let you get into your presentation.
Okay, thank you. So good afternoon. My name is Rachel Yayakakoop. I am from Beardies and Okamasas Cree Nation, just like Willis has said. But grew up in Saskatoon, so most of my experiences are as an urban Indigenous woman. And I have two daughters. They are 16 and 8, and very, very important little women in my life. So everything that I do, I try to do for them in creating safe spaces in our home, in our environment, making positive choices for myself and my lifestyle, and modeling that as opposed to telling them what to do all the time and trying to control that aspect of them growing up. I am an educator, so I have a background in education. And I'm also a healing and wellness coach, or like Willis said, a life coach, which is a pretty general term that's used for life coaches now, but there's a lot of specific coaches. So I usually focus on healing, working with people one-on-one who are moving through stress and overwhelm and trauma and things like that. And we help transform that into more peace and to more joy and more love, so that someone can build a life that is full of more freedom and joy, and play and fun, as you know, because stress and things in life can really damper the way that we experience life. And I really feel like we should be having more fun. And what else? I also do curriculum and program development as well. So I work with and in collaboration currently with Origins Curriculum, which is in Montana. And I am on the programming and communications committee for Wild Sky, which is an outdoor school in Saskatoon, and also working on some programming with that. And I teach EFT to teachers and students in the North and Northwest Territories as a Indigenous role model with Connected North. So I do really love the work that I do. It's really important, and I'm really passionate about it. Just sharing how important responsibility and accountability is when it comes to our own healing, and you know, how we're moving on the earth. And like my dad would say, Miopimatsuin, just that way that we're moving every day on the earth, how we're doing that. Are we, you know, thinking positive thoughts? Are we thinking before we react? Are we honoring our emotions? Are we offering tobacco or making an offering? Are we respecting the earth? Are we respecting our neighbors and our people in the community, our family members? Are we able to build boundaries with certain people, you know, that might not necessarily like that we're choosing a different lifestyle, or we're wanting something different for ourselves? So I think it's just really important work that's our way of life, really, that is happening globally. You know, all around the world, people are awakening to remembering that we are sovereign and responsible for how we experience our time here on earth. And it's not about blaming people, and it's not about you know, holding on to pain and trauma and the past and all of that stuff. It's how can we process that? How can we allow those things to have the space that they need, so that we can move forward and let that go, and then create a new kind of paradigm or way of living for ourselves and future generations. So yeah, I didn't really know how today was going to go. I wasn't sure if I was going to be asked questions or if I just was supposed to talk the whole time. But I can do either. So if you have any questions, please just put them in the, I guess, the chat or wherever this is on live.
You're going to be talking through the whole thing there, Rach. So yeah, we're falling behind. So just talk,
okay,
and say your piece, and then we'll go on to the next one.
Okay, so let me know when to stop.
Yep,
okay, thanks.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess one of the things that I like to do, and I can share today, is this is something that I do with clients, or I do with teaching a group coaching workshop or class. I also, like I said, teach students and teachers EFT, which is emotional freedom technique. So it's a tapping technique, which is a mind-body technique. So it's a mind-body connection that is for calming your nervous system. So it helps to relieve stress, emotional stress, distress of all kinds. And it helps you to get to a place of neutralization, so that you're able to think more clearly, and you're feeling calmer, and you're feeling more at peace. And as you know, as humans, and what we've been going through the last few years is, especially with the pandemic, is a lot of stuff that's triggering our nervous systems, right? There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of division. There's a lot of grief, you know, which is a big thing and a big theme right now for many people, because there's so much transformation happening. around us. And that means that there's transformation happening within us. So when we do this technique, tapping, EFT, it's to help us bring more balance, which I saw that you were talking about this previously, all the young people that were sharing, which is amazing. You know, I admire the young people and how much self-awareness that they have at this, you know, at their age, because that's different than what it was like when I was younger, when I was in high school, you know, or even in my early 20s. I did not have that self-awareness that some of these young people have today. Is pretty closed off and closed-minded. So that's what EFT does, right? We talk about self-awareness. You learn about what it is that you're thinking, what you're feeling, and how those are connected. We learn about the points on our body that one person, an individual, can tap to help bring this calmness to their nervous system to feel more relaxed, right? And you can do it anywhere at any time. And it's quite remarkable because the benefits of it is that it only does good things. Like there's no side effects. There's no, you can't tap too hard and you can't do too much tapping because you're going to be too happy and too calm, too peaceful. So it's really beautiful to be trained in this, this paradigm or this as a practitioner where we can teach people and show each other and do it ourselves the points that we can tap on. And I can show you those points right now. So if you're interested and you're wondering what this is that I'm talking about, there's a lot of information. I'm not going to go into that too much right now because there's not a lot of time, but basically the points are the side of your hand. That's where you start. And then you just gently tap there with your other hand. And then you move to your other hand. And we do this 3 times. So we alternate this side, 3 times. And as we're tapping on these points, we're usually saying something along the lines of a setup phrase, which is, even though I'm feeling this way. So maybe you're feeling angry about a situation, or maybe you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed from work. And then you would say that. So even though I'm feeling stressed with what's happening at work, right? Just a simple statement. I love and accept myself anyway. So you're acknowledging the emotion that you're feeling. You're acknowledging what's happening within you, and you're giving it that space and that affirmation, saying like, okay, even though I'm feeling this way, I still love and accept myself. Because a lot of the time we feel a certain way, and this is usually based on our programming from growing up and the environment that we grow up in, is you're not allowed to feel that. Don't quit crying, stop being angry. You can't get mad. You're not allowed to show your emotions. You're not allowed to express your emotions, right? So this is a lot of the conditioning that has happened with Indigenous peoples because of colonization and history of residential schools, right? So the healing that's happening though is and people are doing this through all kinds of ways of healing, right? Ceremony, whatever way works for somebody. So what happens is you're coming back and you're giving that space to your emotions that maybe you weren't allowed to have when you were younger. So it's an all-encompassing thing, right? So you say that. I'm trying to stay on track here. So you say that, and then you affirm, I love and accept myself anyway. And what I've found in my years of doing this work is that is a really tough statement for a lot of people to say. And it's heartbreaking. You know, even when I started getting into EFT for myself and this kind of healing work like 13 years ago, I could not say those words without crying, without feeling resistant, without just not believing it. You know, I didn't believe that, and I didn't love myself. I didn't even probably like myself, actually, with a lot of the experiences that I've had in my life and some of the choices that I made. But we have to remember, we're human and we go through things and we do the best that we can with whatever we know at the time, with whatever it is that's happening. So when we can remember that we are loved and we can love ourselves no matter what, then we can start to move into forgiveness, to move into healing, to move into letting go. So, and then we move from there to our eyebrow points. So brace it right where your eyebrows begin. And then you just tap there gently over and over about 4 or 5 times. And this is called the eyebrow point. And then we have the side of the eye. So basically where your temple is. And just tap there. So as we're going through these points, I will just quickly explain. We are now moving into a reminder phrase. So you're focused on the emotion that you're feeling, stress, which is not really emotion. So like, what is it that you're stressed out? So we're just going to stay with stress as a generalized feeling, right? I'm stressed, which is usually overwhelmed. Okay, so even though I'm feeling overwhelmed, so there's the emotion about work. So when we move to these points, you're doing the reminder part, the reminder phrase, which is I'm feeling overwhelmed. Okay, side of the eye about what's happened at work or what's happening at work or with all the work I have to do, whatever it is that's going on for you. Then we go to under the eye. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And you want to reaffirm what it is that you're feeling about what's happening at work. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Sorry, we're going to under our nose, then our chin. And then we go to our collarbone. I'm feeling overwhelmed, or this overwhelming feeling, whatever feels true for you. Then we go to under our armpits. I'm feeling overwhelmed about what's happening at work. And then you can put them together if you want. And then you go to your rib points. So you find your ribs. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And then the last point we go to is the top of our head. It's just kind of like right where the middle of your head is and your fingertips meet. If you were to put them over your head like this, then you just want to tap there. This overwhelm that I'm feeling about what's happening at work. Okay, so those are the points, and it's very simple to get into. And then you take a deep breath, breathe out, and we usually do, 1 to 3 sequences of that tapping for whatever it is that you're wanting to work with and work on, right? The whole point or goal of EFT is so if you're feeling overwhelmed in the beginning on a scale of 0 to 10, and that overwhelm is at a 7 or an 8, right? If you were to gauge that, the goal is to get that 7 or 8 to a 0. And that's what tapping does. That's what EFT does and the techniques do. They bring that intensity of the emotion right down to nothing so that you're not feeling it anymore. And one other thing I really love about this is that anybody can do it, all ages, right? So I've taught kindergarten to grade 12, and I taught my daughter when she was tiny too. Is because they catch on so quickly, right? Kids catch on so quickly. And the older kids I find, or older people, sometimes find that it feels weird and they don't really like doing that, and people watching them, right? Because you're in that space of not really feeling comfortable. But once you start doing it consecutively or have a few sessions on the go after, then you can feel more comfortable. It's just like learning anything else, right? You can't just do it once and then be like, I'm good. You want to do it and then keep trying it, try it again. And then you start to see the benefits for real from it, even though you can actually experience instant permanent results from just even one session. So it's really a great technique that it's not the answer to everything, but with where we are today, and there's so many stress factors, there's so many risk factors. There's people, experiencing struggle with addictions. There's self-esteem issues. There's trauma, those kinds of things. And this is something that can help with that, as opposed to just something like therapy, which is great. But You cannot talk your way out of an emotional trigger or an emotion that is stored in your body. So you can't talk your way out of emotional distress. It just, you can't. So this is a really nice technique because it helps with that. What else can I share? So what else? Okay. I heard somebody in a clip talk about go to 20, 12:45.
Another 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. 3
Yeah.
minutes. Thank you. This is just an exercise that you can try for yourself wherever you are. This is another thing that I like to do with people, and it just helps with, again, bringing more balance into your life. So, right, we have the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual. So what you want to do is you take a piece of paper and you write it down in each of those sections. I'm not going to like write it all down, and under each one, think about what it is that you want for yourself and in your life, because you are so beyond powerful to create anything you want in your life. Like you can, whatever, if anybody has told you, no, you can't, or you can't do that, it's just, those are just lies. And so please remember that you can create anything you want for your life. Mental. What is it that you want to think about yourself? How do you, like, what is it that you want to think? And what are the kinds of thoughts that you want to think every day? So you would write that down under the mental heading, okay? So for example, I think positive, loving thoughts about myself and about others. That's it. Just like one line. So come up with 3 or 4, whatever it is for you. I think good thoughts. I think loving thoughts. I think, whatever it is for you, the mental part of your well-being. Then you go to emotional. How do you want to feel when you wake up in the morning? Do you want to feel calm? Do you want to feel at peace? Do you want to feel excited, joyful, right? And then you're going to write a line with that. I wake up feeling calm and at peace with who I am. Whatever it is for you. Come up with 3 or 4 of those. Again, do it for the physical. How do you want to feel in the morning when you wake up? How do you want to feel? I feel good and strong in my body. Thank you, body. I love you, body, right? You're connecting with yourself. You're getting to know yourself in deeper ways. What it is that you want to think, to feel, your body. And then say you have a health issue, right? You can write that in the physical part. So I am healthy and I healed from such and such. My body is healed from such and such, right? Put it in the future of where you're already healed, okay? Not where you're in the present and you're suffering and you're still sick and still feeling ill or whatever that's going on with you. Put it in the future that you've already healed from it. Then do that for your spiritual self. What do you want for that? So after you do all of this, then you write it down in a paragraph, okay? So you have, I think loving, positive thoughts about myself and others, and then all the other things that you put in. I feel at peace every morning when I wake up with who I am and with the world around me. I feel strong and healthy in my body. Okay. And then I thank the Creator for another day on earth. So whatever that is for you, all those sentences you wrote for yourself, how it is that you want to feel and what you want to create for yourself and in your life, you have this paragraph. So what you've created is called a script. And then you're going to use that script and you're going to read it every morning when you wake up, and then every night before you go to bed. And if you do this for 21 days, you will start to see major changes in your life. Why? because it takes 21 days for you to create new neural pathways in your brain. You can seriously recreate anything you want. And then another thing is you're reaffirming this new reality for yourself, this new way that you're going to live and how you're going to feel and what's going to come from that. What are you going to attract in your life? What's going to show up for you? Things beyond your dreams, okay? Things that you probably didn't even think that were going to be available to you. But it all starts with you. It all starts with how you're thinking, how you're feeling, and then what you're doing with that. So I hope you try that exercise. It really is a lot of fun once you get into it. And I swear, if you try it, you know, this is like neurolinguist stuff or like neural pathways. So you're recreating these new thought patterns in your brain and then new ways of doing things, new behaviors, right? It's really exciting. So you are not stuck. You are not doomed with where you are. You can do anything. So I just hope you know that. But anyways, I think I'm done. Thank you for having me.
Alrighty, thank you, Rachel, for that beautiful presentation of trying to balance the negative thoughts and changing your ways. So with that, I want to thank you for joining us during this Power Back virtual conference. I hope that people at home listening have taken some tools home with them. I guess they are at home, so they kept it at home. But with that, I want to thank you. Enjoy your day, and we'll talk again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Alrighty, everyone. We got our, we actually going to show you a quick look at the prizes that are going to be here today. We've got Star Blankets. No, not Star Blankets. We got Star Blanket clothing, some gift cards, IOPS, Deneati. What else have we got there? We've got a lot of merch, but we're going to do the draws at the end. We've got the Spring Spirit Podcast merch, and then we're going to give them away at the end. So you've got to be here with us today. And for our next presenter, we've got Amber Dion. Amber Dion is going to join us. We're going to do this a little different. We're just going to sit here and have a conversation, actually, because, you know, in the last 2+ years, we've been dealing with COVID. Amber is a professor and Grant MacEwan. So she's getting tired of screens, you know, and so am I too. I decided to go to university in a time where pandemic hit, and I've never got to experience university life. Everything has been on a screen, and which has been good for me because Deneati came to life. And but yeah, with that, I'm gonna introduce to you guys Amber Dion, if she unmutes herself, and give her a warm welcome all the way from Kihiwin Cree Nation, Alberta. Welcome, Amber. We'll just ask you to introduce yourself.
Awesome. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you good.
Awesome. Danse, I bigasis nisigasun gyneklasik otsinia. So yes, my name is Amber Dion, and I am from the Kihiwin Cree Nation in Northeast Alberta, but I'm currently living in Edmonton. And as Willis had mentioned, I am an assistant professor with MacEwan University in the School of Social Work. But before that, before my academic career, I've been teaching for about 10 years at different institutions. And before that, I was a community social worker. So I worked in my home community in Kihiwin and with some Métis settlements in the surrounding area. And all of my practice has been with our people and in different capacities in mental health addictions, with different health programs and income support programs as well. So I'm really thankful to be here, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you to the organizers. And I know it's a lot of work to put together an online event. like this. And so I want to thank the organizers for inviting me. And yes, thank you for joining me, Willis. I don't know if Nathan's there as well, but I would love to have some more dialogue. I get tired of staring at myself on a screen. For any of the students that are out there, having your cameras off during class, and then so someone is just staring at themselves constantly, and I get tired of looking at myself. And so thank you for staying on, Willis, and being my person I can stare at, and the beautiful youth that you have next to you as well.
Marissa.
Hello.
Her name's Marissa.
Hi, Marissa.
Hello.
So what I'm assuming is, and what I was told is that this brief presentation or discussion is going to be around taking our power back. And I thought a lot about that. I thought a lot about that yesterday, and I was out for dinner with my kids, and we started discussing power and what that means, what the word actually means. And I started thinking a lot about what it has meant to me. And I think that one of the things that I would like to consider, or how I would like to start, is first by acknowledging, and I want to acknowledge the person, Rachel, who presented before me. Thank you, Rachel. That was a really brilliant presentation. And so some of this stuff might sound a bit repetitive because, much like Rachel, I believe in mindfulness and creating new neural pathways in our brains. But I think how I would like to start is by thinking about emotional literacy and thinking about how for generations our people have not had the opportunities to develop some really strong emotional literacy. And that's due to, historic events and historic trauma and colonialism, is that a lot of our people have not had the opportunity to develop the language of emotion. And so I think that the first thing I would invite folks to think about is thinking about what the word power even means to you in the first place. And also thinking about how power has been taken. And oftentimes power has been taken in some pretty violent ways. And so I'll use one experience and one specific event in my life that I can speak about, and that's in relation to violent relationships or unhealthy relationships, and how when we are in relationships where there is some violence, whether that be physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, sexual, those types of relationships can really it can feel as though power is being taken from you. And so I think that one of the things that we need to also understand is that once we have a definition of power, and once we have a definition of how power was taken from us, it's also important to address the feelings that we have and to create the emotional literacy around that. So if having your power taken from you feels helpless or it feels hopeless, for example, those are two kinds of feelings that we can associate with having power removed from us or taken from us. And so I think it's important for us to identify, again, what power means to us, think of how power has been removed or taken from us, and then also the feelings that are associated with power being taken. So whether that be helplessness, hopelessness, and then we can address how to reclaim power, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So when you talk about hopeless, and what's the difference between the two? Helpless and hopeless, it's does it take the person into a different state of mind, or just a different level of depression, or what do you mean by the two?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think that from my experience, the feeling of helplessness is often learned. And so there has been really long histories in our communities around a learned helplessness, where we've always been in really violent relationships with Canada. So Indigenous people specifically have had this very long history of being in a paternalistic relationship with Canada. And so what that means is that every Indigenous person born into the state of Canada is in a paternalistic relationship. And so that means that we are wards of the state. And so there has been a very long history in this country, and specifically in relation to colonialism, that we have experienced this very abusive relationship with this country. Indigenous people specifically have experienced a very abusive relationship with this country. And so there's been this long history in our communities of learned helplessness, that we are dependent on the state. And so the reason I think that's important to say is because I think it's, we don't want to pathologize our people. And so pathology means that there's something innately wrong with us. There's something wrong with us to our core, and there's nothing wrong with us. There's absolutely nothing wrong with us. And that, when we think about these abusive relationships we've been in since, settler arrival, there's been this pathology that there's something wrong with us, and there isn't. And so I think that learned helplessness has been in existence for a long time, and that we see it in our own lives in ways of not feeling like what Rachel was talking about with being stuck. So that's a good example of helplessness, of that feeling of being stuck and not being able to achieve the dreams that we have, or not feeling as though we are able to leave a situation. So that can be helplessness. The other one is hopelessness, and hopelessness really means that we don't see any hope in our futures, right? So one quick example is I use an example of being in an abusive relationship in my very early years. I was 17 and it was my first real relationship, and it was very abusive. And I remember feeling hopelessness, feeling as though I could not leave that situation. I could not leave that relationship, and feeling like there was nothing good waiting for me outside. And so I think that those are some differences of helplessness and hopelessness. I hope that makes sense. Willis, does it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. I hope you guys got a little bit of that. Sorry to, kind of. Okay, the show must go on. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think everything that has happened to us, and it doesn't even matter. And I was reading your shirt there, and we're all related, and it kind of goes everything in different areas. And it's I've heard this before. It's a difference between us that allows us to make a difference around us, and we've got to apply that to both, and some people deal with the depression and all that stuff, and all of it is linked together.
Yeah. And I think that, even just using the the terminology of depression, again, having conversations with my kids, and depression is a state of being. It is an actual clinical diagnosis, and feeling depressed or being in a state of depression, it's different than a feeling, right? So again, recognizing that depression is folks can be experiencing bouts of depression, or also feeling just incredibly sad, or again, feeling in despair, or and I'll give you another example. I lost my dad May of last year, and that his death was really, really traumatic for our family. He passed away in a really beautiful way, and we got to spend 4 days with him, and it was amazing. His death ceremony was amazing, but the loss of him, the physical loss of him, was still very traumatic for our family. And I remember after he passed away and feeling that despair, feeling like I didn't know what to do, feeling like I didn't know where to go next. Feeling like, how am I going to live, the next however many years without my dad in my life? And having those thoughts of despair, I knew I needed to disrupt it. And so this is another way to take power back or reclaim power, is by disrupting the despair. And so I came home from his wake, and I sat down and I thought to myself, if I just sit here on my couch, I will never move. I'll stay stuck here. And so I had to make some decisions. and they were hard decisions, but I had to make some decisions. And one of the decisions I made was, I'm going to move this pain through my body. I'm going to move it through. And so I started to clean my house. I redid my whole kitchen. I, painted all of my cupboards in my kitchen. I took small tasks, and they were laborious though. They were physically laborious because I wanted to move the pain through my body. And so, like Rachel was talking about earlier, one of the things that I really focus on is somatic feelings. So what we feel in our bodies and where we hold pain. And so if any of us have old injuries, let's say you have an injury in your knee, or you have arthritis in your ankle, or your whole body hurts. Once you turn 41, your whole body hurts. And so I have all this chronic pain in my body, and they're from sports injuries. But I think about when those places really like the places in my body that hurt, when they flare up, that's our bodies responding to something. There's chronic pain that lives in our bodies. And so instead of me holding on to that pain of losing my father, I decided to move it through my body by doing things that made me sweat, by doing things that, I was almost inflicting more physical, I was exerting myself physically to move it through. So one of the things I would invite folks to do, and this is just one quick tip, is we have, like Rachel was mentioning, we have different points in our bodies and different places in our bodies that we can tap or that we can rub to move pain throughout our body. And one of the things that I've been doing for many years in my practice is I've been teaching people how to hug themselves. And so because I worked in some places in my community that didn't allow for us to hug one another, it wasn't always safe. There's not, not everyone's going to be open to a hug. Not everyone wants to be touched. And so it's really important for us to think about, how do we teach people to nurture themselves? And so what I would ask people to do is to wrap their arms around themselves. Okay. So having your arms wrapped on each side of you, and there's tissue, like Rachel was saying, like under your armpits, but as far back as you can reach. I have a lot of fat back here, but reaching to those parts of your body and almost applying pressure where it feels a little tender, and then releasing, right? And doing that a couple of times. And again, almost applying a lot of pressure and then releasing, and doing that a couple of times. And what I also invite people to do is, when they're doing that, when they're squeezing, taking a really big, deep breath in, and then when they release it through the breath. And then every time you do that, you squeeze and you breathe in, and then you breathe out, and you do that a couple of times. You're not only nurturing yourself, but you're also applying pressure to your body where, so if anyone has ever seen someone and they're like, give them a big hug, and they're like, oh, I love you, it's so nice to see you. There's endorphins that are released in our brains when we get a hug from someone we love. There's feel-good chemicals that are released in our brains. That happens when we do that. We can do that for ourselves. We can release those feel-good chemicals in our own brains. The other thing I would like to remind folks of is that if we have people in our life who are in recovery, so my someone in my life is in recovery, and every time my kids would see that person, they would go to hug them. And my kids would say, it feels like they don't get, like they're not getting it, like that they're not feeling it. They don't seem overjoyed to see me. They don't seem like that they're enjoying the hug. Be patient with that person, because there's been neural pathways or pathways in our brains that have been impacted by, drug use or alcohol use or violence. And it takes time, like Rachel said, to rebuild and for those brain pathways to redevelop. And so keep trying, and keep hugging yourself, and keep releasing those feel-good chemicals, because long-term drug use, for example, can deplete or get rid of those feel-good chemicals in our brains. And it takes time for them to come back. And so don't give up. Don't give up on yourself, and don't give up on someone you love who may not be feeling it, or that you find that they're very flat affect, or they don't have a lot of response to your hug or to you saying, I love you, or it was nice seeing you, or whatever. Be patient with yourself, taking your power back. If the power was taken from you in violent ways, then you have to meet that violence with compassion and empathy. You have to meet the violence with compassion and empathy, and more so for yourself. So I'll stop there. I don't know if there's questions, Willis. I can't see if there is any questions.
Yeah, we've got one question. Well, you kind of touched on it a bit, and how do you define power? Amber is one of them, and that was such a powerful statement. Also, I love that you and your children have these kind of discussions, and that's the only one right now, and I want to share. I like how, there was this young man, he's passed on now, actually. He was I think he was 15 years old, and he was trying to be in recovery, just get that, and I hugged him, and I remember that he didn't know what to do. He froze, and there's many people like that in our lives, because when you talked about the paternal relationship, that started many, many years ago, that's not our fault, and we don't know how to hug, For myself, I wouldn't say I love you to my parents until I actually got into recovery. Some of the things that we're taught. What can people do for panic attacks?
That's a really great one. So for any of you who have experienced a panic attack, or for any of you who know someone who experiences panic attacks, what happens when we experience a panic attack is that our blood pressure increases, our heart rates increase, and our breathing changes. So all three of those things are controlled by the brain stem, by the back, that stem in the back of your brain. And it's nothing that we can control. So meaning that when our bodies go into panic, or when our central nervous system goes into panic, there's not much that people can do in those beginning stages where, to calm them down. Like the worst possible thing you can say to someone, well, from my experience, one of the worst possible things we can say to someone when they're having a panic attack is calm down. That's not helpful. And so instead, to be helpful, or one of the things you can do to be helpful, if you're sitting with someone who is experiencing a panic attack, I'll use an example. I don't know if I've ever really experienced a panic attack until I was at my dad's funeral. And I was standing, in this space, and the singers were singing, and they were singing my dad home. And something came over me where I started to, I felt my blood pressure increase. I felt I could feel my heart jumping out of my chest. I could feel how hard my heart was pounding, and my breathing started to change. And I started to get really, really, really short on breath. And so I was breathing really shallow. Okay. And I wasn't taking full breaths. And I had two of my friends near me, and I said to one of them, I said, I can't breathe. And she knows me. And so she came and wrapped her arms around me. So we were face to face. She came and wrapped her arms around me, and she started to rock me. She rocked me back and forth, and she was just breathing in a rhythm in my ear. So she was doing rhythmic breathing in my ear, where I could hear her, where I could feel it, and she was rocking me at the same time. Okay. That rocking and that rhythmic breathing, I eventually started to breathe with her. It took some time, but she was patient with me. She held me, and she was breathing, giving me a rhythm. So one of the recommendations is that if you are with someone who is experiencing that, and if it's not safe for you to hold them, you can sit beside them. Don't sit in front of people. Okay. Try your best not to sit directly in front. Sit next to someone and just lean in and just do rhythmic breathing. Eventually, they will hear your rhythmic breathing, and they might catch on. The first thing to get control of that, what Rachel was talking about with that, being at an average or a level, at a medium, is to get control of our breathing first. So that's if you're sitting with someone. If you are experiencing a panic attack, or you're experiencing that really increased heart rate, do that with yourself. Hold yourself, rock back and forth. Okay, if you're sitting, rock back and forth, and do your best to take big, deep breaths. Okay, apply that pressure to your skin. That will bring you back to where you are. So it's about always bringing yourself back. When we are experiencing what we consider a panic attack or an anxiety attack, we disassociate. So often we will leave and we will try to survive. So that's what a panic attack or an anxiety attack is. Our body's trying to fight off something, and it's working really, really, really hard, and it is exhausting. And so once you come back after your anxiety or your panic attack, once you come back, really rest. Do your best to if you can lay down, have a cup of tea, have some cold water, alternate between the two. Okay, something cold to drink, something hot to drink. Alternate between the two. That's also something. Lastly, if you have access to mint tea, or if you have mint chewing gum or mint tea helps with anxiety. So pop a piece of mint gum in your mouth and chew that. I don't know if I'm running out of time, Willis. You need to tell me.
No, we still got time. I'm going to keep you here as long as I can here. Because people are enjoying, all the stuff you're sharing. And what if it's over the phone? Trying to calm someone down is another question. And, I just want to read another comment here. That's a good way. My daughter has them often, to the point where it makes her calm right up her whole body. I will try this next time, And, that's one of the things that I guess the pandemic and everything is where, going back to Haley Rose's comment, is a lot of people will reach out over the phone, due to substance abuse and all that, or even depression. So how do you manage, that, and also to not pick up other people's energies? That's something that, okay, this is me and that's yours, and how do you do that?
Yeah. The over the phone one that's a great question. I've been doing a lot of over the phone, or, maybe it's video chat, depending on people's comfort. I just had a really good friend of mine lost someone just the other day. And I called my friend. And the moment I got her on the phone, I said, hello. And she went quiet. And I knew that when she went quiet, she may have been crying already. The best thing we can do for people on the phone is be patient. Make sure that we're in a space where we may not be distracted. So if we have kids, or if we are doing the dishes and someone calls us, put those dishes down. Put the dishes down. Or if we have kids that are going to disrupt us while we're on the phone, we can quietly ask them, I'm going to be on the phone for a little bit. Okay, can you play over here? And being silent and patient on the phone, I think, is also really important. So one of the things I recommend is, if you are on the phone with someone and they are having difficulty breathing, just remind them, I'm right here. I'm right here. One of the things that we often, or that we've been trained to do, I think, a lot. So practitioners, people in the community, social workers, we've been trained to say the right thing all the time. And we don't have to say the right thing all the time. And I remember my auntie saying to me a while back, about how, Nehiowak, Nehio people, Cree people, we have a longer response time. And so we have a 6-second response time, whereas Muniawak, or, settler people, they have a 3-second response time. And so oftentimes when someone says something, there's this rush to make a response. There's a rush to say the right thing. And we don't have to do that. Nehiawak, we didn't do that. If any of you have ever sat with an elder, for example, and you ask them a question, they'll take their time in responding to you. And they'll take their time because they're thinking about the right story to tell, or they're thinking about how they might approach you. And so practice that. Practice that presence and thinking about, how you are going to support this person. I did lots of crisis intervention work in my career as a social worker, and I found the most beneficial thing that we could do is just to remind people, I'm right here. I'm right here with you. And you don't have to say anything. You could just sit with that person, breathe. And you can encourage them, breathe with me. Can you hear me breathing? They might not respond to you, but keep saying things like that. I'm right here with you. Breathe with me. Okay. That's something that we can do over the phone. And then if that person comes back down and their central nervous system starts to regulate, then you can ask them, is there anything that you want to share with me? What's going on for you right now? You can ask those types of questions, but asking those questions when someone their breathing is not regulated, they're not going to hear you. They are not going to hear you. They are simply going to just continue to breathe the way they are. So really just paying attention to what's happening for you. So the other part of that, Willis, around ensuring that we are not absorbing other people's stuff, which can be very difficult, especially if we work in crisis work or if we have a lot of folks in our lives who are in crisis. One of the things to do is to brush yourself off. And so once you're done a conversation like that and you're both hanging up, literally brush yourself off, use pressure. And if you believe in using, smudge, for example, light some smudge, pray. Or if you don't have smudge with you, you can still pray and you can ask, I can't carry this, I need to brush this off, and literally brushing it off of you. Okay. Another good way to not absorb other people's stuff is by journaling. So making your own little notes about, I don't own this, saying it out loud. I'm in solidarity or I'm in partnership with this person, but I don't own their stuff. Speaking it into the universe as well. Willis, where'd you go? I can't see you.
Oh, I'm here. We've only, it's a lot of good stuff, and the people are really, really appreciative of all the tools you're sharing. And we're going to finish her off with, how would you deal with a person with self-esteem issues, like feelings of they don't like themselves, they don't like their body, I'm sick of looking myself in the mirror, and that's a very good one, self-esteem issues. And we'll finish her off with that.
Okay, awesome. So again, I think that, so as I mentioned, I'm 41. And so when I was, my youngest daughter's age, I didn't have access to the internet. I didn't have access to, Instagram and Facebook and all of those things, where a lot of our younger people are doing a lot of comparison of themselves to people that they see online. And so one of the first things that I would recommend is if that you are working with or sitting with someone, or maybe you have a child who's having some issues of how they perceive themselves, is finding out what they're looking at and asking questions about it, gently and compassionately asking questions about, what do you see, when you look online, or if you're on, and I just had this conversation with my youngest the other day. We talked about body image and how, my kiddos have had experiences of, not feeling lovable or not feeling attractive as the standards of what that means, and not feeling good about how they look. And one of the first things I'll do is I'll compassionately ask my kids around, when you see yourself, asking questions about, what do you see in yourself? And always using strengths-based language when we're talking to our people who are suffering with some image issues, using really strengths-based. So instead of saying, you're good, don't worry about it, who cares what other people look like, that's not strengths-based language. Strengths-based language is still validating how they feel about themselves and ensuring that we are speaking strength into them. one of the things that we do as adults in young people's lives, or even in our friends' lives, is we hold hope for each other. And so a quick tip is, if you have a child or someone in your image issues or some self-image issues, is putting up sticky notes on their mirror. If they have a mirror that they see every single morning. So I have them on my mirror in my bathroom. I have different notes to myself around, you're smart. You know, you're going to have a good day because you're a good person. Like, just quick self or affirmation quotes. And you can have people do it for themselves, right? You can sit them down and say, tell me one thing that you like about yourself. And they may struggle with it. You can guide that question. You can say, you know what I really like about you? You can give them an example. And then they may be able to come up with one themselves. Have that on there, even if it starts with just one sticky note, is something that we can do. The last thing that I would recommend is ensuring that we are speaking love into people. And I remember my late dad talking about medicine, and he would talk about, you are the medicine. How you speak to other people is good medicine or not. And so be mindful of how you speak to other people, and not just how you speak to the people in your life, but how you speak about people in your life. So if you're at home and your kids are hearing you talk about other people in a way that is harmful, our children pick up on that. Their spirits pick up on that. Other adults do. And so doing our absolute best, to speak good medicine into other people. And so every single morning, I wake up my kids in a good way. I wanted to break cycles of lots of different things when I became a parent. And so I wake up my kids in a really good way. I see them get ready in the morning and I'll say, oh, my girl, you look so beautiful today. You look so beautiful. And they may not believe that about themselves, but they're hearing it. They're hearing good medicine being spoken about them, and you're inviting that into their life. So I don't know if that helps, but those are just some things I practice at home with my kids.
Yeah, it's a lot of good stuff. The people thank you, And so with that, I want to thank you once again, Amber Dion, for joining us all the way from Alberta. There's many people here, lots of good comments of everything you shared, throughout your career. So, and I believe we've got Marissa, who's got one quick little note there she took from your presentation that she's going to share.
Awesome.
Well, everything you've spoken on, I've related to, from the abusive relationship to the loss of a loved one, the blockage in the brain that can cause someone to react differently to love or anything. Right down to anxiety and depression. Just the whole thing is something that I've dealt with throughout my life. And it was like, hearing you talk was just very touching. And it's made me realize how strong I am. And I'll continue because I deserve it. We all do.
Yes. Yes. And I'll say one thing to you, Marissa. And this is something else you can say to yourself, and something you can say to other people in your life, is thank you for surviving. Thank you for surviving all that you have. Thank you for being here. And I thank you, Marissa. Thank you for surviving all that you have. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Masicho. Hi, for joining us here today with that. And give her a warm, big applause from home. And, I think they all hear you in here today. So with that, we're going to move on to our next dance demonstration from Marcy Whitefish. She is Nathan's gonna join her, I believe. No, he's just moving stuff around. He can't sit still, this guy. So with that, Marcy is going to do another dance demonstration.
Here we go. Showtime. Give it up one more.
Give it up one more time, he said. Oh, la. Good stuff. That hurt my hips just watching her. I don't know how they'll be able to do that. Give her a round of applause at home. Marcy Whitefish is here to join you today. And then so nice to hear from the, excuse me, the youth, Marissa here, you know, to be able to come up here and share that. Give her a round of applause at home as well to, you know, to have the courage to come up here and be able to do this for the first time. Are you enjoying yourself in front of the camera?
Personally, don't like seeing myself on anything, so but I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, that's good. You're doing good. You're doing good. The people, you've got lots of fans out there that are just rooting for you. And up next, our next presenter is going to be Alex Starblanket is our next presenter from Starblanket Clothing. And, you know, I was just chatting with him here a little bit. He's going to share with us his regalia, I believe, about the story behind it and how it has come to, you know, in his life. He's been dancing for just over a year, I believe, and, you know, he is walking the red road as well. We got to chat about that. It's always nice to see here, you know, it seems like 22, I don't know if it's, you know, a new time, but a lot of our people everywhere are just, you know, choosing that positive, healthy lifestyle and going without the substance abuse. And I just want to thank Alex for sharing his story with me. So we're just going to get set up and we will bring him in. And don't forget, we've got prizes at the end of the conference. At the end, what shall we do? What kind of questions are we going to ask?
I guess we can keep track of who's been here throughout the whole thing.
Who's been here throughout the whole thing commenting? That's a good one. You know, it's always good to interact here at home. And it would be a little different if we're in person, but, you know, maybe we'll do a draw, get some people that commented on their names or something and ask questions at the end. But we've got 6 gift cards. We've got about 10 pieces of clothing, 12, 10 plus. So we've got a lot of good stuff. And it looks like we are ready to go with our next presenter. Our next presenter, way too loud, is Alex Starblanket. Give him a warm welcome right here at the Dakota Dunes. He is here with us today. Alex, welcome. Masi Cho for being with us today. Masi.
Good. Well, I want to say thank you guys for inviting me to this conference. It means a lot to me. Um, I guess I will introduce myself. My name is Alex Starblanket. I'm from Ahtahkakoop First Nation, Cree Nation. My parents are Rhonda Starblanket. I don't know my father, which is yeah. And my grandparents are Virginia Bird, Charlie Bird. They raised me ever since I was 5 years old. So I kind of grew up with them and their values. So I guess I'll introduce how I became who I am. I guess back in 2018, I was diagnosed with kidney failure, and this was all caused from heavy drinking and it was just an everyday thing for me back then, and it raised my high blood pressure. It got so high that it shut down my kidneys. It like I woke up one day, it was just my kidneys were gone. I didn't know what was going on with my body because back when my kidneys shut down, I couldn't produce urine. So that was one of my worries was how come I couldn't use the washroom? Like I couldn't, I was drinking all these fluids and I was at work, and I've started really like, why ain't I producing any urine? And then I was at work, and then I got I left work early, and I went to go see the doctor, and then this was just a walk-in clinic, so they didn't really check everything out. So then I've got released, and they said everything was fine. But I went back to my dorm, and I still couldn't use the washroom, and I was drinking all this water because I was dehydrated from worrying so much and hyperventilating, and I finally called into the actual hospital, and they told me to come in. So I had to hire somebody from where I was working. It was about an hour drive to the actual hospital. So we went there, and we went in there, and I sat there with the doctor, and the doctor did all the blood work and all the work that they do over there at the hospital. And I remember sitting there, and the doctor came back there, and he looked at me and he told me, he said, I got to talk to you. Can you tell your friends to go? And I was like, yeah. So I told him to go wait for me outside. And the doctor looked at me and he said, he goes, I got some bad news to tell you. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, never thought of the, ordinary that it would be my kidneys. And he grabbed my shoulder and he said, well, we looked at your blood work, and everything checks out good. Your heart's good, everything. He goes, but there's one thing wrong. And I was like, well, what is it? He goes, your kidneys are not working. And I was like, wait, my kidneys? And then he goes, yeah, your kidneys are not working. So I was like, well, what does that mean? He goes, we're kind of surprised that you're actually still here. And I'm like, really? And he goes, yeah, because usually when your kidneys shut down, your body starts to shut down. Your heart shuts down. All your major organs, and so I was there, kind of like hyperventilating, like getting more worried. And he kind of he said, go take this time to go take a breather. I'll get you all set up. We'll get you an ambulance on its way to take you to Kamloops. So I went outside, and I was in shock. I was in just disbelief of what happened. And, my whole life flashed before my eyes, like, what am I going to do? And, so I was like, I was sitting there by myself. I had no family around because I was at camp work, and I was all by myself there, and all I had was my cell phone. So I phoned my my girlfriend, and I told her that what happened to me, and she was shocked on the other end, and we just couldn't figure out what we were gonna do from then on. So while I was thinking about what I was gonna do, the doctor was inside doing all this paperwork for me to get the Kamloops, because they had to rush me in there. I only had maybe like a couple days, because if I would have drank any more water, it would have clogged up my heart, and I remember sitting out there, and so this is where it gets more interesting about how my life changed around. So I was just sitting there, and I had nothing else to do, nobody else to run to, so I ended up praying to the Creator, and I asked if, is this it? Is this where my life is going to end? I was praying, and I said, I remember saying, if you could send me a sign, send me a sign of, that everything's going to be okay. So I remember sitting there on the phone right after I was done praying to the Creator. I remember somebody gave me a cigarette or something, and I took that tobacco and I put it on the ground. And I remember sitting there, and I was on the phone with my girlfriend, and then I seen this guy, this older elder guy come walking, and I could see him from a distance already, and I'm still sitting on the phone talking to my girlfriend, discussing how we're gonna handle this. And he walked by, and then moment of silence on the phone. Then he came back, walking back outside, and I was sitting in front of the hospital. So he was actually walking towards me, and I looked up, and usually when people come into the hospital, they don't just walk up to you. This guy came walking right out of the hospital, opened the doors, and he walked right up to me, and he reached out his hand, and he said, "Hey, everything's gonna be okay." And I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, looked up at him. I was like, "Thank you." I was like, "I needed that." And then he went walking away. I didn't know where he went. He didn't say who he was, or he didn't say anything. He just came up to me and said, "Everything's going to be okay. Whatever problems you're going through, everything's going to be okay." And then instantly I just thought, I was like, whoa. I was like, I think the Creator just sent me a message. And my girlfriend was on the other line, and she was like, "What was that?" I was like, somebody just came up to me and told me that everything's going to be okay. So we both clicked in, and we're like, didn't we just ask the Creator to send somebody? So that's what happened, and that's where I knew right away that this was what I was going to be. This is what I told the Creator that I would be doing for the rest of my life, was speaking, telling my story. And then I went home, and all this happened so fast, like one day I was sick, and then the next month on the machine. So I was on dialysis. The dialysis is a machine that keeps you alive, and it pumps all your blood out of your system into the machine, and it cleans out your system, getting rid of all the toxins, all the salty foods that I eat, all the bad stuff, and it filters it, and it comes back into my body. So that's what the machine does, and it keeps me alive. So I go to dialysis every second day now of my life, and I've been on dialysis for the past 3 years. And my immune system is really weak, so it's like real easy for me to catch any random cold or any just anything like that. So I have to really be precaution about what I do and who I interact with, and that's one of my struggles I deal with. So I do a lot of live events like this and Zoom meetings and stuff like that. But when it's in person, I have to like wear masks and just be real cautious of what I do. So now I live my life as a dialysis patient, and I was. This brings my story to the power back of this conference. So now I'm sitting there on the machine, and I do most of my thinking on the machine, because we sit there for 4 hours a day doing nothing, just sitting there letting all this machine do all the work for us. So all we do is sit there and think about, just think about what we're gonna do for the rest of the day and stuff. But when I sit on the machine, I think about our youth and our younger generation, and how life is going for most of these kids. It's wrong to see a little 15-year-old doing drugs, and it's wrong to see these younger kids on devices instead of going out there interacting and having fun with actual children, doing actual kid stuff. And it's just we need to bring that back for our younger generation. Let them actually see how it make it feel like they're actually having. Back then they had a lot of fun doing children stuff, and now when they interact with each other, they're on Facebook, they're just on their devices doing games and stuff instead of actually going out there playing actual tag and stuff. So my power back of this whole dialysis thing was I wanted to share my story of how I've kept busy doing all these events and stuff while I was I'm sick and everything like that. And it's hard for when we get off the machine, our all the blood that comes back into our system is cold, so our bodies have to move. Our bodies move real slow, and most of our body is in pain, and our back, and we only have so much energy to do something during the day after dialysis. So usually we go home and sleep. That's all we can do because we have no energy to do anything else. But the next day it's we're all brand new, because our body's all warmed up, our blood system is all back to normal. So I'm a brand new person the next day, but immediately we kind of don't have all the energy to do as regular people do stuff. But during my fight, I could have just gave up. I could have just, I'm just going to sit on the machine here and wait for a kidney donor. I'm on the list, by the way. So that's one of my positive things that I'm happy about, is that I'm actually on the list, so that I should be getting a kidney donor here within a year or two. So that's one of the things I'm proud of, happy about right now. But this is where I decided today I wanted to help the youth. I decided today I wanted to reach out with what I do and tell my story and help inspire all these younger kids that even in our toughest battles, we could still accomplish a lot of things in our lives. Since I've been on dialysis, I've done a lot of things for myself, and one of the first things that I've done when I was thinking about doing all this stuff for the youth was I seen this is when all COVID hit, and things started coming as online and stuff. And one of the first things I did was started the Star Blanket brand, and the Star Blanket brand was to actually help inspire the younger youth to keep their the 7 teachings of our culture. And it seems like in this generation is that they're losing the 7 teachings of our culture, and we've been slowly drifting apart from the culture of the 7 teachings. And we don't even have to research on how things. You could see it. You can feel it. Our reserve was just awesome to be around, and it's just hard to see your family go down that path. And I just, when I came back from British Columbia and seeing all this change in our reserve, I immediately knew what I had to do, what we had to do as our reserve is we had to, stay strong. But I ended up joining this, with my clothing line, I ended up joining this fashion show, and it was a live event, something like this. And I joined this fashion show, and they asked me to bring my clothing line to the fashion show. So I went to the fashion show. This was broadcast around all Canada, and that was one of my experiences, was doing something for the youth, you know. And we had all this gathering with all these people all across Canada, and you know, I was happy to be part of that show. I had my sisters and be my female models, and I had my brother Sean Picakut there. He was helping me put some of it together. You know, he was one of my inspirations. Was we grew up together, and we both started our own small businesses. And he started at Nahil Hustle Clothing, and I started Star Blanket Clothing, and we both just kind of supported each other from day one. And yeah, we just he was telling this story there, and what he told about, you know, keep your friends close, and your you know, I forgot what he said. He said something about keep your friends close and you'll see success, something like that. And it's definitely true, man. Like, your friends, you got to choose the right friends. You know, the friends that you choose are the ones that are actually going to help you, you know, success in your journey. But then after I was done that fashion show, I ended up going to, I got invited to the Power Pitch. And when the Power Pitch was broadcast all over Canada, I was one of the semifinalists. So I went into, after I got an email saying I was in the semifinalists, I was shocked. You know, out of 150 companies that applied for that, I was shocked that I got in there with my clothing brand. But that was an experience, was actually because I had to do a power pitch with my clothing line and send it in, and I was pretty shocked that I got in there. And you know, my life just kept on going from there. You know, I just ended up getting invited to a bunch of other shows, and you know, I just been, you know, trying to keep steady, trying to keep busy with, you know, what I do, and the dealing with kidney failure. You know, I'm just, you know, it's just trying to show the younger generation that, you know, it's not over, man. It's not, you know, just because I lost my kidneys, it's not over for me. I'm still gonna keep on fighting for you guys. And yeah, it's just it's an amazing journey for what I do, and it's not over yet. I'm just actually I got invited to this conference, and you know, and I have a few more conferences to go after this. A few in Edmonton, and I'm hoping, I'm trying to get into British Columbia, back to where this all began. And yeah, I think I only have like 15 minutes left. I wanted to show you guys my powwow outfit and the story behind my powwow outfit. There's a few there's a few things that I wanted to. So I'll bring out I'll bring out my ribbon shirt. So this is my ribbon shirt that I've had custom made from this lady from British Columbia. She just before she passed away with breast cancer. She heard my story from the powwow pitch, and I guess my video got out there, and she heard my story from the powwow pitch, and she wanted to make me something. So I told her I wanted to start dancing, and she told me she wanted to make me a ribbon shirt to go with my outfit, and she made me this ribbon shirt. And yeah, I was honored to, you know, I didn't say no to that. And for a while, it took a while for her to make it, and I inboxed her and I asked her if she was done making my gift, and because I wanted to start putting my outfit together. And I didn't even know how to put it together, you know, honestly. I just went with the flow with everything, and everything just fell into place, you know. All the stuff that, you know, the rest of the stuff that I'm going to show, it just all fell into place. But yeah, so now every time I bring out my shirt, you know, I make sure that I have it put away, like you may like I don't just fold it up and throw it in there. I make sure it's put away. So now next is my beadwork. If you guys can see that, can you guys see that? Yeah. So my sister Cynthia, she's my my go-to bead person. She made me this when I decided to stay sober, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you guys want some beadwork done, I would suggest go to Cynthia. But yeah, she made me this, and it's pretty cool. I usually just wear this on round dances, powwows, events like that. Yeah, pretty cool. And she made some cuffs for my powwow outfit also. So they go with my Star Blanket shirt. Yeah. If you guys can see that. But yeah, she's real good, man. So I was I was on Facebook the other day, and I entered this draw, and there's this Facebook draw that this guy was raffling off powwow beadwork, and I entered the draw. There was probably like 1,000 people that entered that draw, and the colors that I chose, anyways, the beadwork that I won from there, I ended up winning that draw, and he sent me the beadwork and all that stuff, and it was actually like the beadwork that goes with my powwow outfit, and it matched everything that that goes with my powwow outfit. So there's this. This goes around your neck like that. And then there's this. This goes like that. So yeah, everything ended up going with my powwow outfit, and it worked out. It worked out. So then I had these for my powwow outfit, and it inspired me to keep making my outfit. So then I had beadwork done and everything ready to go. So I needed my bustles. So I started making my own bustle. So I ended up starting making my own bustle, and I didn't even know how to make the bustle, so I YouTubed it, and this thing took me 6 hours, and I wasn't nearly done it. And then Facebook ended up seeing this guy raffling off some bustles, and then again, out of 1,000 people, I ended up winning these bustles, and these bustles were same color as my outfit. Ended up turning out perfect. I'll show them. So these are my bustles. I like to call these my wings. So yeah, these are my bustles. This is my bustle. I have the other one. Yeah, these ended up going with my outfit, and everything just turned into place with my outfit. So this is where I actually decided to become a fancy dancer. And the story behind these bustles is when I remember having a dream, and in my dream, I was gifted 2 powwow sticks. And I don't know what these powwow sticks meant to me, but I remember somebody saying that when something is given to you in your dream, especially powwow sticks, that means that something's in your life is going to happen. So then I reached out to some elders, and they were saying that something's going to be gifted to you, and these gifts are going to be something to, something that's going to keep you on your sobriety road, eh? And then weeks after, I ended up winning these 2 bustles, and instantly I knew that that these 2 power sticks that I dreamt of were these bustles that were given to me. And like after that, I ended up having another dream, and the other dream was an actual lead power stick, an actual hand drum stick. And what that meant was that an elder said, one of these days you're going to become a leader. So then, as of today, I've realized that that my dream was what I am today. There's that round dance, that lead hand drum stick was actually who I am today. So now I'm a leader. I'm a speaker for the younger generation, and and I'm happy to be part of what I do, and it's gonna be my rest of my journey for the rest of my life until one day we go back to our old ways, and where we're actually happy, and happy to be around each other. And we shouldn't be distant the way we are now with COVID and everything like that, man. We should be visiting each other instead of sitting across from each other with cell phones and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just interesting road that I'm on right now, and I guess I should leave you guys a message. One of the messages that I want to leave for the younger youth is flow like the river. Do you know how the river flows forward? That's how you guys should flow. You guys should flow forward, man. You never see a river flow backwards, man. Don't be stuck in your guys' past. You let go of the past. Let flow like the river, the way it flows. Flow forward. Keep going. There's going to be different obstacles. That river will get through that obstacle no matter what. You guys can do that too. So keep your guys' head up, and I just want to say thank you guys for having me here. Thank you for listening to my stories. You guys will hear me more. I'll do my best to stay strong. And aho. Thank you guys.
Good stuff, Alex Star Blanket. Just one
questions?
quick question here. We've got what does a star blanket mean to you, Alex?
What does it mean to me? It means the youth. Star Blanket, when I decided to start the Star Blanket, it immediately meant the youth. So every time I see somebody wear my logo, it wants them. They're the ones who are wearing it. They want change in this world. So that's what Star Blanket means to me, is our younger generation.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, give them a round of applause at home. If you're, I know the people in here, they like to hear stories. It's always good to hear one of your very own, all your relatives share their own story, get up on stage and be able to present. So with that, thank you, Alex, for joining us here today. We are now back live with Marissa, my co-host here for today. And I just want to look at some of the comments here. I've been, Ruby, thank you for sharing your story with us here today. And people are very proud of you to be able to come forward. It's not easy to be vulnerable and come out on social media. We deal with, it's been touched here a little bit about lateral violence and everything. But when we create a safe space for people to be able to do this stuff, good things happen. So shout out to all of you that are listening and partaking in this conference. It's all about taking our power back, as an individual, as a community, as a nation, So with that, good for Alex. Good stuff. I appreciate you sharing your story with me. What do you think, Marissa? How's this show going for you?
Very well.
Very well. Good stuff. Good stuff. So we're gonna get our next presenter here, and I'm gonna play a couple of the youth videos here that from Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation, and we'll get into our next presenter. Cindy Tatusis is here, in the house. She's going to join us and talk about her journey with us, taking back the power to be able to move forward and do the stuff we do today to help other people. So with that, here's a few messages from the youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation.
Hi, my name is Summer Bear. The question I chose is, what do you think is a reason some people are unable to fulfill their dreams? My reason for some people that are unable to fulfill their dreams are because they're not being pushed hard enough to reach out for that dream. They need some sort of support or like a nudge from like a friend or a family member to help them keep going and tell them that they got this. So my reason for that is support. We all need it. Thank you.
I really feel capable of something that's been holding me back, which is my self-esteem. Because a lot of the times that I was afraid of failure, I didn't let myself try my hardest. So that was really a big anchor a lot. But yeah, and like having a lot of self-confidence would really take me a long way. And others too, others with self-confidence. I've seen people with such great self-confidence that they went so far. And that inspires me to believe in myself a bit more. And I believe that I can do that. Slowly but surely, I'll get there.
If I had the tools to create anything that I wanted, there would be more opportunities for the youth, like a skate park and a skating rink for rollerblading, and a new basketball court, because it's the youth that need something more to do instead of getting mixed up with the wrong crowds. And plus, I like to skate myself. That's what I would do if I had what I needed to make.
There you go. A few messages from the youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation, and I know Marissa is one of the videos there. So thank you for coming out and sharing the videos. Once again, it's not easy, to put yourself out there. So give them a round of applause at home, the youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation. Be proud of them. Tell them if you see them out on the road or in the school, say, hey, you did good. Good job, Nezu. Hi. So with that, our next presenter here, Cindy Tatusis, she's here with us here today. She's your next presenter. She's a family support worker, social work, and she works right in the community. So she's going to share her story with us. And so give her a round of applause at home. Welcome, Cindy Tatusis.
Cindy Tatusis Sitsigasun from Ahtahkakoop. My parents are Melvin and Louisa Isister. I just wanted to give you a little background about myself. I'm married to Ron Tatusis and I have three sons. I grew up on the reserve and I went to school in the neighboring school, the town school. And I just wanted to give a little background about my story growing up. There was going to a small town school wasn't always easy. There's a lot of discriminations and stereotypes that I grew up with, and there was also the bullying. Just wanted to make a remark about the anti-bullying day and pink shirt. So I just wanted to represent that today, and that bullying is not cool. So, and growing up and being bullied, it was tough. And like I said, the discrimination and the stereotypes. So there were a lot of instances in my life where I had to take my power back and not succumb to the things that were trying to hold me back. I remember this one time growing up in high school. Once you get into high school, it seemed like the norm for all of us Indigenous people kids to go to the remedial class. And it seemed like a given that we went to this class. And I remember the teachers telling me or asking me if I wanted to go to that class. And I felt I needed to take my power back. And I said no. And I went to the regular classrooms, and I felt I needed to push myself to do better, to be a better person for myself and for other Indigenous people, because I didn't feel we need to be stuffed into that box where we have to succumb to the stereotypes. And a lot of my life has been shaped around that, is overcoming those stereotypes. I didn't want to be a stereotype. I didn't want to fall into that trap. I wanted to push myself harder and to break those barriers. I remember this one time in high school, I was starting to get lazy, and I was starting to drink and party and do all those things that teenagers do. I wanted to be my own boss. I didn't want to go to high school anymore. I wanted to do what my other friends were doing. And then I remember that one morning I told my mom, "Mom, I'm not going to go into school anymore. I'm going to quit." I quit school. And she said, "Okay, go ahead." And it's at that moment, my mom, she gave me my power back. I didn't quit because I knew education was what I needed, what we need to get ahead. We need to get our power back to complete our education. And this is for you kids out there, to not fall into that trap of drinking and partying too much. To look at your future goals. I had to really examine myself during that time and what I was going through in my life. What was my motivations? What weren't my motivations? So I had to really examine myself. But the next day I was on that bus and I made my way back to school. And I graduated at 17 with the rest of the kids. So then I worked on the reserve for a bit and eventually sobered up. When I got pregnant, I had I was 19 when I had my first son. And I sobered up. I wanted to change my life. Drinking was getting out of hand. So, and I went to treatment and I started pursuing my education again. And I just, I wanted better. I wanted to be better for myself and for my son. And again, those stereotypes, I wanted to overcome those stereotypes. I didn't want to be a stereotype. And I didn't want to give in to the racism and discrimination that I experienced. And I took my power back. I wanted to take my power back. So I pushed myself further. I eventually moved away from the reserve. My son was 4 years old at that time. And this is my first time being away from my family, away from the reserve, living in the city, going to university. I was 24 years old at that time. My first year university was not that great. I failed. I failed terribly. It was just, the culture shock of it all, it just got to me. And so I had to take a year off. And then I worked in PA. I worked at Superstore for a year. Just made my way and, breaking those barriers and trying to be my own person, trying to be responsible, trying to grow and trying to be a parent to my son. And eventually, that's when I met my husband, and we moved to Saskatoon, and that's when I got back into university. It was tough. I won't lie, it was tough for me. But you know what? I did it. I was able to graduate. I got my Bachelor of Arts, and I also got the Aboriginal Justice and Criminology program. I completed that. But it was a lot of hard work and a lot of late nights. But one thing I want to encourage all the university students is to take that time for yourself, because when you are juggling a family life and your education, it is very difficult. And you need that time for yourself. I didn't do that for myself. I was consumed by my family life and my education. I didn't take that time for myself, and it was draining. So now that I'm older, I feel like that time for yourself is so important. And even for the adults nowadays, like, don't feel guilty about having to take that time for yourself, because it is needed. Go for a walk, go for a run, journal, do something for yourself and honor yourself. I find that coming to my roots as I'm getting older, as I've gotten older, is I needed to find my roots and be connected. So I started learning more about my culture, the traditions and the ceremonies, and it feels so at peace. I feel so at peace learning about these. Being out in nature and learning about things and connecting with other like-minded women and sisters. So I have a sisterhood where I reach out to these women who help me and who teach me along the way of our traditional teachings, and I look up to them. And so no matter what age you are, you need those people to look up to, who you find are role models and inspiration, and just to immerse yourself with them, and just to put yourself out there and be with them. And it's really uplifting, and you feel your life has a clear path of what you want to achieve. So just be true to yourself. And so take those risks and those fears, and when those fears creep up, just think of your ancestors and your role models that are behind you. This got me through a lot of hard times in university, and even now, I think about my ancestors and my chapans, my kukums, and all the role models that I looked up to throughout my life. I think of them and all the struggles that they had gone through and overcome, and where they are now. So I think of them. So I just want to encourage you to look for those role models that you look up to, and think of your ancestors. Get to know your roots, so you know where you come from, where you know who your family is. So it grounds you, it keeps you connected to the ground and to the earth. And so it gives you a solid foundation to build on so you can branch out and just believe in yourself. Fall in love with yourself. We're all magic. We all have passions, and I believe those passions are magical. And so we are all magic. And just remember that in your heart, and just keep believing in yourself. I just want to share with you this one quote that had stuck out to me when back in university days, and it's still my guide today. And it guides me in everything that I do and everything that I stand for. It goes like this. When the woman heals, the family will heal. When the family heals, the nation will heal. This has been very profound and helped me get through a lot. It's the traumas that we all need to heal from residential school, from colonialism. And to rise above that, and not to be a statistic, and not to fall for the stereotypes. Because we are better than that. Our ancestors and our role models before us, that went on before us, have shown us that we are better than that. And so with that, I just want to say that we are the seeds. Keep making those ripples in life. Be positive and live with a kind heart, because they will get you a long way. And I know I didn't mention what I'm working at right now is actually moved back to the reserve in November. And I'm so proud I'm able to give back to my community. And I'm working at Ahtahkakoop Child and Family Services as the family support worker. So I'm working with the families and trying to guide them, if you will, so that they'll live successful lives with their families, to help them overcome any obstacles that they have. Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to Shimona and to Sequin and everyone for having me here, and for asking me to speak. It's been an honor. It's always been one of my dreams to speak in front of kids at a conference level, because growing up, when I was a teenager, one thing that they did for us back then was they took us to conferences, and listening to the speakers was very empowering. And I think that's where I got some of my power back, where I got a lot of my power back, is listening to those speakers talk and sharing their stories with me and instilling me that spark. I shouldn't say that. I had the spark within me all the time. They just helped light it, make it brighter. We all have that spark within us. It's there. Just reach out and look for someone to help you make it brighter. We're all here in this world together, and we need to be kind to one another, and the bullying and the bad talk, and just get rid of all of that, and just support one another and be there for one another and live with kind hearts. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy Tatusis, for sharing your journey with us. You know, you did a good job, and you're going to do great things in the future. Big conferences. So give her another round of applause at home. I know there's many people here thankful for sharing your story here with us. So Good stuff, Nizu. So we're going to go over to our next guest is going to get ready here soon. And then we're going to go over to another youth of Ahtahkakoop. I'm just going to play a video here and bring this on. You'll be able to see this. This is Miko Ahtahkakoop. Here's a message from him, and hope you enjoy.
Hello, my name is Miko. I am from the Ahtahkakoop First Nation. It's been a long time, but it's about time for us young people to start taking our power back and start living instead of surviving. Our chief Ahtahkakoop always kept the next 7 generations in mind. That's what made him a great leader. He had vision, good vision, for his people to be a strong community. And now it's our turn to be ready to be great leaders and great providers for our community. And with great effort, you will be ready to do whatever you need to do to keep yourself strong. So keep yourself driven and dedicated to life. We all understand how rough this isolation life is, especially trying to grow up in it, trying to get your license, trying to get a job. But keep this in mind. You're still here, and you're still going strong. There's nothing better than that. Hey.
Hi. Good stuff, Masi Cho. Thank you for that message. And, I've got my guest here, Marissa. She joined with me here today. I'm going to give her I'll give her a shout out and give her a round of applause to come up here and be able to do this. And it's her first time, so she's doing very good. And up next, we're going to go over to Marcy Whitefish. She's going to do another presentation of the jingle dress. I think she's got a few words for you guys, too. Uh-oh. I apologize for that. But Marcy, the stage is all yours. The floor, take it away.
Hi, I just wanted to say that as I'm sitting here listening, and I'm totally agreeing with 100% what people are sharing, and I just want to say that I can relate to how Cindy was sharing her story, and that young lady before, what was her name, Amber? Yeah, she was talking about how you're healing, and each time I dance, I think about my grandparents, and I think about them because they didn't have this opportunity in their life as residential school survivors. And I dance for them, and I think of them and their little as little children because they didn't get that chance. So each time I dance, I take that opportunity to think of me, who I am as Nehio Squill, and dealing with racism growing up and coming home to school and still not being good enough. I'm still learning how to take my power back every day. And that's something that I'd like to share with you because I was sharing with Nathan that I've been on my healing journey for a while now. And it's something that I'm going to continue staying on because it's good for me and it's good for my girl, my daughter. And I just want you to know that a lot of people here care for you and they want good things for you in life and you're worthy of it. So I'm going to finish my dance. Next.
Kotsi versus Tongshi, Northern Cree.
Whoa. Good stuff. Thank you, Marcy, for sharing that beautiful jingle address. What do you think there, Marissa?
Beautiful dancing.
That's good. Good stuff. So with that, we're actually going to do a giveaway right now. Or you've got to be in the comments right away. We've got 4 items up for grabs here. I've got 3 gift cards, 2 of them Netflix. One of them is a Cabela's $50 card. So it's going to go 1. And Spring Spirit Nation shirt. So it's going to go there. And we're going to pick people. And you've got to share this in the comments section. What did you get from each presenter? So 4 people, first 4 people to comment. What did you get from Rachel Ahtahkakoop, Amber Dion, Cindy Tatusis, Alex Star Blanket? What did you get? Share something in the comment section, and then you're going to win a prize here. So that we're going to give away 4 right now, and then 4 the rest at the end. We've got a bunch of Star Blanket clothing, and then more gift cards. Actually, we've got 3 more. $50. Hola. Lots of money. What shall we do for the next one there, Marissa?
I'm brain dead right now.
Well, we'll think of something. And I think it looks like we've got 2. So 2 more people have got to... Two more people have got a comment. We've got the first 2 winners there for sure. Sharon Albert and Angel Lynn. And then that's money. Okay. Myrna is one of them, and Mavis Benjamin. So there you go. You guys are going to get a gift or a door prize. We've got our people here. We'll hook you guys up. Make sure you message the page to get your send their info so we can get the gift cards out to you guys. And where our next guest is going to be. If you're joined in with us yesterday, he was. Rob Swan Casp is going to be joining us here again. He's our next presenter, and he's going to talk to you guys about, having tools. And I know he touched about this, yesterday, but and so have our other presenters. It's all about helping one another to be able to get through the day. Is that what you got here from Marissa? Yes. Yeah. And a lot more, she said. And I hope everyone at home is enjoying the conference and taking what they need, So, and I want to give a shout out to Nihio Clothing, Masi Cho for the hat. Always support Indigenous entrepreneurs and make sure we just put them on full blast so we get people to buy their clothing and be able to be the next Jordans and all that compete with the rest of the clothing line, So with that, I'm going to bring him in all the way from BC, Kamloops, BC, I believe. In Kamloops, BC, Cass Rob Swan. I want to share a quick story with you guys. I went to the Sage Health Center my first time in 2014, and it's up on the hill there. Right off first. What is that? Columbia, I believe. Yeah. And I drove there and did about almost 50 days. And, so Kamloops is very close to my heart. And so with that, give him a warm welcome. Once again, Rob Swan Cass is joining us here again. If you're at home, give him a big round of applause. Masicho, thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, yeah, like he was talking about, I'm sure there was so many amazing and talented speakers, that rolled through today and yesterday. Each and every day, I do my best to count my blessings. And what I mean by count my blessings is like I do my best to acknowledge like that, today was not guaranteed. Yesterday I touched base on tons, like not a ton, but yeah, I, I hate saying tons, but I touched base on a lot of different tools. And the thing is with tools, some of us, we get it confused with like tools as in like tools to fix stuff, like our cars and stuff. But these are tools that I'm giving you that will help you in your everyday life. And so when it comes to life, nothing's guaranteed, right? And like myself, everybody has a story. Like Star Blanket, he has a story. Like the two hosts, they have stories. What I want you guys to know at the end of today, at the end of my set here, is that who you are makes a difference, and that at the end of the day, that you are number one. Okay, and my story, if you guys missed it yesterday, is it's not like anybody else. Well, no, you know what? It is like everybody else's story. It's similar. It's similar to everybody else's story. I don't know how you feel when you were going through your journey, but I do understand. And so, with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with as many tools as I can, and it's up to you whichever tool you're going to pick up and put into your toolkit, okay? Or if you call it a tool basket, or So, um, I go by Casp. My real name is Paul Robert Walter Sowen. I was named after my grandfather and my uncle and my dad. My grandpa was Paul Sowen and my grandmother was Mabel Sowen. They were both from the Driftpile First Nation. My dad, his name was Robert Taco Sowen. He was from Driftpile First Nation. And my mom is Faye Ferguson. She's originally from Montana area, Saskatchewan. Montana and Saskatchewan, sorry. And my dad and my grandparents, they recently passed away. Well, not recently, they passed away. My dad passed away about 13 years ago. And my story starts in Alberta, and ends in East Vancouver. So I was born in Prince George, raised in East Vancouver, but my reserves in Driftpile, Alberta, because of my bloodline where it comes from with my grandparents. My dad was addicted to heroin for about 27 years. He went to residential school and day school. My grandfather went to residential school, and my dad, unfortunately, he used to beat up my mom, right? And so when I was born, my dad took me, and my mom like left him. Like my mom took off, and my dad was on the run from the police. And when he was on the run from the police, he dropped me off with my grandparents, my late grandma and grandpa, and dropped me off in Driftpile. They had a farm just outside of Driftpile. And when he dropped me off with my grandparents, he left, and he left for years. And while I was with my grandparents, it was amazing. My grandpa took me to different places, like different ceremonies, and I thought he was just hanging out with me, right? Fast forward my life a bit more. He took me to sweats. He took me to Sundance. He took me to pipe ceremonies and all that. But the cool thing is I thought that he was just spending time with me, but he was preparing me to do the work I do today, which is the work I do with youth today. And fast forward my life a bit more. My grandma passes away. My dad comes out of nowhere. He's all tattooed up, and he said, "Okay, you're coming to live with me. Your grandfather can't look after you. He's too old." To me, that changed my life drastically. Fast forward in my life a bit more. I'm living with my dad. Eventually he starts beating me up, broomsticks, extension cords, bare fists, and such. And with me, I end up getting put in foster homes. I was in about 33 foster homes, 13 group homes, and so my life was like, was going in and out, right? And it was pretty crazy. Fast forward my life a bit more. I discovered hip hop music. hip hop music brought me back to my culture. And what I mean by that is that, we started a hip hop group called Seventh Generation back in the day. My DJ from Kamloops, he heard about me. He found out that I was, indigenous MC, and he was an indigenous DJ. And we went on, and we won numerous awards. Excuse me. And that being said, life was pretty amazing when I was with my group Seventh Generation. And but what happens when you don't deal with all the abuses and all the stuff that happens in your life and addictions and whatnot? Because my dad, he was he was pretty much taught me how to be an addict, right? He taught me how to be an alcoholic too, and so I had to unlearn all those things. But what happens when you don't deal with the abuses? What happens when you don't deal with the traumas? Because when I was living with my, rewind a little bit, when I was living with my grandparents, my two cousins, they molested me and such, right? So I've been through all this stuff, right? And like yesterday, I was talking about, if you guys missed it, is, it's easy to focus on all the negativity, right? But I do my best today to focus on the positive. And the first tool I'm going to give you is changing your glasses. It's easy to focus on like all the, this happened to me, poor me. My dad told me my mom doesn't care about me. My dad told me my mom doesn't want anything to do with me. My dad was an alcoholic. He was an addict, and I could easily focus on all that, or I could focus on what I learned. And so today I learned that how to be, a better man. Today I learned how to forgive myself. Today I learned how to respect myself, how to respect women, how to respect the life givers, how to be learn and treat every day as a as a teaching moment, right? And to find the value in all things and to change your glasses. And so with that being said, I lost it all. I was part of an amazing group called Seventh Generation. We won about 18 awards, indigenous and non-indigenous. And my life did a 360. Went to this amazing program called Choices, and learned a bunch of tools which I give out today to not only indigenous youth, but to people who I feel that deserve to heal and to move forward and to adapt to this culture which we have of the Zoom and the social media. And I'm not going to lie, it's been tough, to be able to go from, facilitating in front of a room of thousands of people, hundreds of people, even, 20, 40 people to nothing, to a screen. I've had to adapt to that. But, like I said, what doesn't kill you, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but, find the value in it. So the value I found in this whole Zoom, Facebook thing is that, you get to understand and realize that, at the end of the day, you have a tool telling you, and a tool reminding you of a tool. And this tool that we have in each and every day that we use, including our phones, our cell phones, is this tool that says, look at yourself. Ask yourself what you need. Ask yourself what you want. Ask yourself, are you getting everything you need mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually? So we're being reminded by this technology to look at ourselves and to remind ourselves that we have to work on ourselves each and every day, and that life's a journey, not a destination. Right. And so that being said, I give so much, not only respect to my dad for, before he passed away about 11 years ago, 12, going on 12 years ago. And he was 14 years clean and sober. And he became a drug and alcohol counselor. He went in and out of jail, and on purpose to work with inmates and to share his story. Right. But, to understand that, who you are makes a difference. Right. And, I give my dad credit, but I give my mom so much credit for walking away from an abusive situation, walking away and standing up and saying, hey, this is not right. because my dad, he beat my mom, locked her up and, and just in a closet with just a house coat, and I get shivers still even thinking about it, what she went through. But you know what? She survived. And, I give her so much gratitude. So I give so much gratitude to the life givers and to the ones who been through all that, and even the ones who survived residential school and didn't know how to be moms or dads, or didn't know how to be grandmas or grandfathers. So the tools that I'm giving you guys today, some of them anyway, and the tools I gave you guys yesterday, are the tools that help me become the best me I can be for me. So the next tool is to give you is who you are makes a difference, which I said before, but your best is good enough for you. So if you give it your 110% and you say, hey, you know what, I gave it my all, your best is good enough for you, and no one can tell you any different. So, I've been through a lot. I'm going through 12 years clean and sober. Coming up April 14th, I'll be 13 years clean and sober. So, from going from 12 to 13 and remembering my dad was, he was 14 years clean and sober, that really hits me, and it's pretty amazing that I get the opportunity to do this type of work. So that being said, at the end of the day, you got to remind yourself that, who you are makes a difference, and that you have greatness in you. Each and every one of us has greatness in us, and we all have the same 24 hours, and it's what we do with it. Today, my mom, she works 2 jobs. She lives in Prince George. She's doing amazing. Today, I have 5 beautiful kids, 2 bonus kids, well, 3 bonus kids, 2 bonus daughters, 1 bonus son. And I don't like saying step, I say bonus, because, they are bonuses. They're the ones who teach us how to be parents and how to be patient with ourselves. And so that being said, I got my daughter, her name, she's 11 going on 12 years old. I got 2 beautiful, healthy sons. I got, life's good. I got my partner who's, in sobriety as well. And yeah, I can't ask for anything more. I got my business now that is adapting to social media. And I get the opportunity to travel all across Turtle Island and share my story and give these tools, and it may not seem like at the end of the day that, like, we were talking yesterday, and the gentleman who was, I believe he was taking a social work, or he was a teacher or something like that, he said that if you help one person, then that's what matters, right? And that's not the only thing that matters, but like, at least you did your best at the end of the day. So for me to be able to tell people, give people these tools, like, I want to remind you guys that that what other people think about you is none of your business. So if you're the type of person who sits there and is like, oh my God, what are they going to think of me? They're going to think I'm this, think of that. At the end of the day, what other people think about you is none of your business. And you have no control over places, people, or things. Excuse me. And not to let people live rent free in your head. So, yeah, a lot of these tools, like, I do my best to latch onto and to really, really focus and to find the value in all things, right? And when my dad passed away, and I was in starting my healing journey 13 years ago, April 14th. Oh man, I can't believe it's 13. Yeah, I was starting my healing journey, and they played all these songs, and I learned all these tools, and it was just the tool that really stuck out in my head was, what other people think about you is none of your business. But at the end of the day, that you gave it your 100%, and you found the value in yourself, right? And yeah, today I'm super excited and blessed to even be part of this this conference, this Power Back conference, because what better way to start all at the end of this, well, and it's not even the end of it, but at the end of this COVID thing, right, is to take back our power as people, but also as Indigenous people, and not get blinded by everything that's happening right now, because it's, like I said, it's so easy to focus on the negativity. It's so easy to focus on the bad things, but it's better to focus on what we have, what we can do, and what we can do for ourselves mentally, emotional, physically, and spiritually, right? We could sit here and focus on, well, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, or I have to do this, or I have to do that. Or you could say, I get to do this, I get to go to work, I get to speak, I get to facilitate, I get to dance powwow, I get to write hip hop music, I get to hug my son, I get to hug my daughter, I get to love myself. Find the value in yourself. And at the end of the day, I guarantee you things will change. So remember, what other people think about you is none of your business. Don't let people live rent free in your head, and you have no control over places, people, or things. And like I said, at the end of the day, you are number one. You have to love and respect yourself. And when it comes to loving and respecting yourself, that's you understanding that, yeah, it's okay to say no, but it's okay to remember that disagreement doesn't equal rejection. So just because you had a disagreement with somebody and you had an argument with somebody, at the end of the day, you can go back and be like, hey, it's all good, right? Because disagreement doesn't equal rejection. If somebody says no to you, it doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means they said no to you. And even if they don't like you, what other people think about you is none of your business, because you know who you are as an Indigenous person. And if you don't know who you are, I was blessed with hip hop music bringing me back to my culture. Hip hop music brought me back to ceremony. Hip hop music brought me back to speaking with elders. Hip hop music brought me back to me. Okay. And now I know and I understand that, that at the end of the day, if you learn about the stories of the land where you come from around you, and if you learn about the medicines, and if you learn about who you are as an Indigenous person, no one could take that away from you. When you graduate from school, no one could oh, sorry, I just got changing glasses and putting your mask is changing your glasses and putting your mask on is what you said yesterday. Yeah. So don't hide behind masks, right? Change your glasses. Don't hide behind masks. Don't hide behind confusion. If you're that person who's always like, when somebody asks you a question, you're always like, I don't know. Maybe challenge yourself and do your best to answer that question. If you're that person who hides behind anger and you're always angry, that mask of anger, maybe do your best and share your feelings. Find somebody who you trust and share your feelings. Don't hide behind masks. Challenge yourself and step outside your comfort zone, because that's when you start to grow. Yeah. But that being said, I'd like to thank, this amazing conference for giving me the opportunity to share online. I truly, wish I could have been there live and, been able to share in the room and have all the youth and people in there. And, we throw a live party and, we do the icebreakers and all those other things. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. And like the creator says, there are no accidents. But remember, you are special. Okay. I'm looking at you. You are special. Challenge yourself. Like I said yesterday, look yourself in the mirror by the end of today. And in the morning when you wake up, for at least 2 weeks, and say, I love you, meaning I love you to myself. Okay. But yeah, thank you guys so much. This is an amazing conference. I hope you guys at least, got 1 or 2 tools. They sunk in, but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to share with you guys today. If you want, I can end it with another freestyle if you like.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll end it off. We're just gonna get ready for our next presenter. So
okay,
give you another minute and
another minute.
Finish her off. So you've got
Okay.
1 minute to freestyle. We'll see how deadly you are.
See how deadly. Okay, so check this out. So does anybody have a word for me? All right, give me 3 words. 3 words. So anybody in the comment section, I'll pick 3 words and I'll rock it. No beat. I'll just do it.
Hope, funny, inspirational.
Okay. Yo, check it. Healing, overcoming, passion, and empowerment spells. Inspirational is you. Who you are makes a difference because every time I pick up the mic, it's so excited. They call me Casper the Ghost, getting ghost on the competition. Sit back and listen. They call me Casper every time I always do it. I do it all day. They say Hollywood, if I could, I'd go back into time and I'd take hip hop. I'd study hip hop and I'd make the mic drop, make it right. Yeah. There we go.
Good stuff. Rob, Cass, Sawan, thank you for joining our conference here today. I hope everybody enjoyed and they got all the tools they can take from him. And give him a round of applause at home if you're,
Thank you.
Rob, Sawan. Maybe
Any questions, sir? Is there any questions?
Let's see here if we got any questions. No, not that I see. If you got any questions, throw it in the comments there real quick. And while I wait for that, I want to talk about, we've got a TikToker here from Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation who's going to join us for a moment and share some words for the youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation. So if you got a comment, okay, here's one question here. We'll have one question. What's your motive to keep moving?
Oh man, my motive is my kids and my background, right? My kids and my background, how I grew up. And if it wasn't for my kids, then I don't think I'd be who I am today. And I'm just like you. I'm just like everybody else, but I do my best to find the value in all things. So my motive is my kids, 100%.
All righty. It's all about the kids. So with that, I just want to say thank you for joining us here again. Enjoy your day, Cass. Give him another round of applause at home, and we'll move on to the next presenter. Good stuff. Good stuff. So we've got Chief Joe is going to share a brief message for you at everyone all at home in the Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation. Chief Joe,
here, aka Chief Joe on TikTok. And one thing I want to say is it's really easy to just worry about what other people think of you. But what Cass was saying, like, don't worry about that. Just show them who you are. That's the main thing. And I just want to say also that TikTok in general it's really hungry for content, and native TikTok is growing every day. So it'd be pretty awesome to have more people from Ahtahkakoop making TikTok content. And I would love to collaborate with you all if you start. So just reach out if you need help editing and stuff. There's me, and I'm sure the other Ahtahkakoop TikToker, Chris Musescapo, Mr. Christopher on TikTok. I'm sure just shouting him out, just calling him out, and I'm sure we'll both be happy to help you if you get started. Got any questions for starting on TikTok? I'm Chief Joe 58.
Chief Joe 58. Thank you for that nice message. If you got any youth from the community that want to start TikToking, I know we've got the almost famous TikTok here that just joined us here a little while ago. We might get her to go up on in front of the screen, and we're gonna give away some t-shirts right now. Chief Joe 58. Yes, go follow him. It's all about supporting each other and getting that content out and making sure we have all the followers. Thank you for the inspirational words and stories, everyone. This really was amazing to watch. So I've got a bunch of merch here, Star Blanket clothing, and my co-host here is going to have a question for you guys. Is it a question? Yeah, it's a question. So you've got a comment here. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 t-shirts we're going to give away. So the first six people that comment with the answer or your answer to this question is going to get a t-shirt.
Okay, so how are you going to apply the tools that you've learned through watching for the past few days in your life?
Yeah. How are you going to apply the tools, from the presenter either yesterday or today in your life? How are you going to apply the tools in your life? So the first 6 people that comment is going to win a t-shirt, and we'll hook you up. You'll have to come. If you're not on the nation, Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation, send your info out to the health page. Yeah. Her mother. And just going to give her a shout out to her mother. This was Shimona came into the office in minus 50, they said. And they said, I want to do this. And they made it happen. So shout out to Shimona for making this possible for everybody in Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation. And our next guest, she is the last one for today. She's in here with us today from Mosquito Grizzly Bear Head Lean Man. Oh, that's a long name. That's three guys put together, form a band. So, and Haley Rose, she is a national ambassador of hope. She's going to be sharing all her positive vibes for the youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation. So welcome, give her a big round of applause. Make sure she hears you all the way from the res.
Awesome. Dance, nitsi wagana, kegwa ni wagumagana, kita tamskit now. Haley Rose Nitsiga son, Mosquito Grizzly Bears Head Lean Man First Nation, Egwa Red Pheasant First Nation, Uchinia. Dance, my friends and relatives, I greet you all. My name is Haley Rose. I'm from Mosquito and Red Pheasant First Nation. I'm an 18-year-old student currently enrolled at the University of Saskatchewan studying political science. And I'm actually an educational assistant for the Greater Saskatoon Catholic Division here in Saskatoon. So, I've been trying to do my best to keep busy, and it's really difficult too, especially being enrolled in a university and taking classes. So trying to keep myself busy and do what I can for my community and do what I can for Indigenous youth and spreading positivity and spreading hope and spreading that love that I have in me and that I can give to other people. So I was actually driving up here to Whitecap, and I was thinking to myself, what does power back mean to me? And I had been listening to, I listened to a bit of Rachel Yakakut, and I was listening to Amber. And I was thinking, how everything was interconnected and how everybody mentioned that. And I was thinking, what power back means to me as a youth and being 18 years old. And there was a huge shift in my life about 3 months ago in the summer. And I was just graduating from high school, and I was moving to Saskatoon, and I realized that I had to cut out a lot of people in my life. And I was young, and I was already living on my own in North Battleford because I was born and raised in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. And when I graduated high school, I was like, wow, a new city, new year, new me. I'm just kidding. But I was thinking, I had to let go of some people that were holding me back and people that were taking a lot of my energy, were consuming my energy. And I realized that I had these people in my life, people that I loved, people that I trusted, people that was my normal. These people that I surrounded myself with every day, these people that I had close in my circle, people that I would share everything with, things like what was going on in my day, my problems. And I realized that every time I was hanging out with these people, every time that I was, going to grab a tea, going to grab a cup of coffee with my friends or with my family, I was reflecting on myself about how I felt after, I was around these people that I love, right? People that you love. And it was almost like they were taking a piece of me You know, I would go see this person and then they would have a piece of me. I would go see a cousin and then that cousin has a piece of me. And they were taking these pieces and pieces and pieces of me and my energy. And, you know, there's that old saying where you can't fill up other people's cups if your cup is only half full, or if it's empty. You can only give people so much before you feel empty, before you feel like, wow, like that took a toll on me. That took a lot on me. And I realized that when I was around these people, they were putting so much on me. They were telling me their problems, and they were telling me, you know, what was going on in their life. And they were looking at me to give them advice, you know, to guide them in the right direction, to lead them on the right path, to spread them on that journey. And so when I would go home, you know, I would lay in bed and I felt lonely. You know, I felt like I was helping so many other people. I was, you know, helping them get back on track, or I was offering the best support that I could. And I realized that, what about me? You know, what about what I was going through? Or if I'm okay? And a lot of people assume that people are doing okay, or people, you know, have a good life because they're always smiling or they're always laughing, that they're doing okay, right? And it took a lot on me. And I had to be willing to let go of those people that I loved, people that I trusted, these people that I surrounded myself with, family, friends, and let that negative energy, you know, those negative people who weren't helping me, they weren't looking out for my journey. They weren't looking out for or supporting my future goals, my future aspirations, you know. Haley, we want to help you get there. We want to see you succeed. You know, you're 18 years old. This is where it starts. You're an adult now. And, you know, I had to drop those people out of my life. And it wasn't like I was like, I'm telling you guys to just like get rid of these people and say no. Like, you want to distance yourself away from people that don't make you feel good, who don't lead you in the positive direction that you need to be, who don't lead you to the positive place that you want to be. Nobody who helps you with your future goals, nobody who helps you succeed. And that takes a lot for people. You know, when I had to do that, it was lonely. And it was difficult because you're so used to these people in your life. You're normal. And when you step out of your comfort zone and you distance yourself from these people, you get lonely. And it's hard. And you miss these people because you love them and you care about them. And I'm telling you that it is hard and it will be difficult. But you'll soon start to see, and I did for myself. You know, I moved to Saskatoon and I was like, oh, this is a big city. I'm excited. And I found these beautiful, beautiful people. And they do have a saying. It says, if you close doors, and in this example, it would be those people. If you close those doors between those people, new doors will open and allow new people to come and walk into your life. And I had the most amazing, most beautiful, powerful, resilient people walk into my life who understood me, who wanted to help me succeed, wanted to know my goals, people who had dreams and aspirations, people who were looking out for me, people who asked me, are you okay? How do you feel? You know, how was your day? Checking up on me. Even though maybe I didn't need to be checked up on, they were still coming to me and saying, you know, I'm here for you. I support you. I guide you. And those are people that you want in your life. It takes a lot of power and a lot of strength for people to see that, to love yourself. And when you're allowing people around you to consume your energy by by them, by giving you all of their problems and all of, what they might be going through. It takes a toll on you. And you have to think about yourself sometimes, and you have to say, like, I matter too. And it is difficult. It is difficult to let go of people that you love, people that you trust. But it takes a lot of power in yourself to care about yourself, to love yourself for your future, for your ambitions, for your aspirations, for your success. So that's something that I wanted to share with you guys, is getting rid of negative energy and finding that balance in yourself and finding that self-love again so that you can succeed and so that you can achieve all your goals, so that you can be happy. And yeah, that was just a little story that I wanted to share with you guys. And, it hits close to home for me because over the summer, it was very recent when I had to let go of people that I loved and people that I trusted. But it allowed these new opportunities and these people and these relationships and jobs and opportunities. All these things were coming into my life because I was willing to let go of people that weren't looking out for me, people that weren't directing me to this place that I needed to be. And yeah, so that was something that I wanted to share with you guys, is, putting yourself first sometimes and finding that strength in yourself and that power in yourself to love yourself and care for yourself and balance your medicine wheel, mentally, physically, spiritually. What's the last one? Did I say intellectually? I think, to balance that medicine wheel and find things that you love and spread your love and your heart to people who need it and people that deserve it. And I understand that a lot of us, want to do that for a lot of people. We want to support everyone. We want to be there for everyone. You want to give, and you want to give and give and give. But there's a time where you have to look back and take a step back and realize that if you're giving all the time, you need to receive. Sometimes you give so many people so many things, and you realize that you're giving all that you have. You're giving everyone out there your energy. You're giving these people these pieces of you, right? And they're walking away with all these pieces of you, and you go home and you're like, you feel stuck. You feel lonely. You feel like you need to get stuff off your chest. And that's where that power is in you, to stand up for yourself, to stick up for yourself, to surround yourself around people that love you and care for you. So I think I'm running out of time here, and I just want to say that thank you for Ahtahkakoop Health Center for inviting, all these amazing people into your space and allowing us to share a little bit about our personal stories and sharing our perspectives on Power Back and what it means to us and how we're all connected and how we all are like-minded, but we're all different in many ways. So I hope my opinion about Power Back and my perspective about Power Back resonated with you guys today, and you take something away from it. You guys take something away from this conference, this Power Back conference. That's something that stuck with you, and keep that in your head and remember that. Today I was listening to Amber when she was talking about panic attacks, and I brought that up to her because it's something that's you see it everywhere now. People are dealing with depression and their mental health, anxiety, panic attacks, and it's serious. And people need to understand how to cope from this and how these mental health issues, these mental health problems occur, where they come from, where the roots are. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. And yes, thank you for inviting me on your show. I think I'm going to pass it back to Willis here, but yeah, have a great day, everyone, and we'll get this wrapped up.
Good stuff. Give her a round of applause. Haley Rose from Mosquito Grizzly Bear Head Lehman First Nation. just over there by North Battleford, across from Red Pheasant. What do you think of her presentation, Marissa?
It was beautiful. The way you speak and your enthusiasm towards it, it's empowering in itself.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
think it's very important for people to understand that even people that you love and care about and people that you want to keep in your life, family or friends, that sometimes you have to put yourself first and think about your future. Like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but you have to put yourself first sometimes and remind yourself that even though you care about these people, sometimes they just want to keep you in that same place. Sometimes they want you to be where they are. And it's very important to put yourself first, to love yourself and get that self-love back. Get that power back and, feed it to yourself and say, I'm going to get there. And you have to let go of things that you care about and that you love so much. So, thank you.
Good stuff. It's all about, it's the difference between us that allows us to make a difference around us. And once again, give her a round of applause. If you're at home, just make it real loud. She's only 18 years old. She's youth of Mosquito Grizzly Bearhead Lingman First Nation. She's ambassador of hope. I believe she's done many presentations as the ambassador of hope and for the youth. It's all about the young people and taking our power back. So with that, we're actually going to do, she was the last one of the day. She was our last presentation of the day. So do not leave. We still got lots of, I'm going to save the gift cards for later. Got $200. So 50, 50, and 100. I'm going to save that to the end. So you've got to be here. But I've also got some merch here. I've got 6 pieces of clothing to give away. There's a Deniati hoodie there as well in syllabics. The guy over there in orange is going to show you guys here. That is a Deniati in syllabics. That's a large, I believe. And then we've got our model there is always a little extra with his box. So give him a moment. Your star blanket clothing. Lots of glitter on that. Oh, no, that one doesn't have glitter. No, I think the other one's you. It's bright and shiny, if you want to attract your significant other, that's the way to go. Some glitter there. So we've got 6 of those. And the co-host and I, Marissa is going to tell you what it's all about. It's, I want my ends. So I want you guys to share with us what you got to start with. My ancestors want me to, and bring something positive to people. So start with my ancestors want me to, and share with us. Let it finish. My ancestors want me to keep doing Dene Yati podcasts. That would be for me, because I've given space for people to learn the language, the Dene language. And I hope one day, you got youth watching, and they take a liking to being live. We've had Chief Joe 58 join us, and Alex as well, to be able to have that Cree space for Cree communities, to be able to share the language, for everybody to hear. So if you are looking to do something like that, or get in touch with Mr. Podcast, Nathan Arias. So please start off with my ancestors want me to, and then finish off with something positive. We've got 3, and we've got 6 of them. 6 pieces of clothing there. And then don't go anywhere. We've still got two $50 gift cards and $100 gift cards. So 3 more people. Make sure you put it in the comments. Don't be shy. And my co-host for today, Marissa, what do you think of today's presenters?
I think it was quite inspirational. I've taken a lot from this myself, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting to be here, but it's an amazing experience, and I hope that everyone watching has taken something for themselves that they can hold on to and take with them towards their future. This was a great experience altogether, and I hope that we can have more things like this out there for people that need it and just need to hear something positive and see something actually happening, because it's different when you see it and just hear it, but when you're actually there, it's more exhilarating. It hypes you up to want more and put that towards something in your life.
Yeah, good stuff. It's you did good today. So I want to ask everybody to give Marissa a round of applause. If you're at home, it takes a lot of courage to be up here. Like she said, she wasn't expecting to be here. A bit nervous, but she did really good. She's one of the youth that got to share the videos, and I've got 3 left. I'm going to share 3 of the videos from the youth of Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation here.
If I had the tools to create anything that I wanted, there would be more opportunities for the youth, like a skate park and a skating rink for rollerblading, and a new basketball court, because it's the youth that needs something more to do instead of getting mixed up with the wrong crowds. And plus, I like to skate myself. That's what I would do if I had what I needed to make.
There are a lot of reasons people don't fulfill their dreams, but I think it has a lot to do with who you associate yourself with. When you surround yourself with ambitious people, it will positively impact your life. And same goes when you surround yourself with negative people, it will negatively impact you. This is why it is so important to look for people who support your dreams and encourage you to be a better person. We are all energy, and when you surround yourself with positivity, you are more likely to adopt self-empowering beliefs.
Self-empowering beliefs, good stuff. So there's a couple messages from the youth, and I believe we got the first 6 for the clothing there, the merch giveaway. But I'm just gonna ask Myrna Rain Nay if you can put my ancestors want me to at the start of your message. So it'll be the first 6, and it's all about changing just minor things to be able to make things happen, as you've learned here from all the presenters over the last 2 days. And with that, we still got, I just want to finish her off with, we'll give these away at the end. I'm going to ask my co-host here to come up with something real quick to be able to give away one $100 one, 2 $50 gift cards. But I want to thank the Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation Health Center for putting on this conference here. We've had to deal with COVID over the last 2 years plus. And, I think a lot of people are actually tired of this, mentally, physically, because we've had to, even the presenters here that had to teach class online. For the students, they got to do online learning. For, having anything that is not normal from before, So with all that pandemic stuff we had to deal with, we brought to you this conference online power back, and shout out to Shimona once again for making this, bringing this idea to the health center and making that possible. And we'll just give her a round of applause for that. The tech crew, I know Sheldon and Lanny, is it Lanny? For joining us. You know, they helped out behind the scenes here. Nathan Arias, the other tech guy, Mr. Producer, the Dr. Dre of Red Pheasant. And then Sequin Henneque. She had to leave here today, but shout out to her. You know, without her, a lot of this would not be possible. And having that support from Chief and Council as well, from the Ahtahkakoop Cree Nation. My co-host here for today, Marissa. Thank you, thank you. So give everybody a round of applause, and we're going to go over and give away the last 3 gifts or door prizes. So
I guess like
this is going to go to 3 people that comment. 50, 50, and 100. So, yeah.
Where is Haley Rose from? Which 2 reserves? She mentioned it in her speech.
Okay. From our final. I don't know if you guys heard that. No math questions. I'm terrible at math. They'd be waiting till 4 to get the. So, Haley Rose, our last presenter. For $50, which 2 reserve does she represent? Which 2 reserves? Red Pheasant and Lean Man. Mavis, correct? That is correct. So Mavis Benjamin, you won yourself a $50 gift card, a Visa gift card. And then I'm going to make this one about Mr. Alex Star Blanket. So I believe if you were here today, Alex Star Blanket, who makes his beadwork for another $50? Alex Star Blanket, he's been dancing for over a year now. He's been sober many. And he's living, he said he's got to live here in Saskatoon. Tammy Ledoux, oh, no. Myrna Rain Nay, Cynthia, is that correct? Cynthia was the first one. And you get a $50 Visa gift card. Cynthia was the first one. Myrna Rain Nay. And now for $100, what shall we do?
maybe so they could find support from anyone that may be watching. We could ask what's something that they want to help getting through or past that will help them get their power back.
So reaching out to somebody to get them.
Yeah, like what kind of help would they need?
What kind of help? Okay. So there you have it for $100. What kind of help? Like, what are you going to do? What's the next step you're going to do in taking your power back? That?
Yeah.
Okay. $100 gift card. What's the one thing you're going to do to get your power back right now, today? You know, taking action, not just saying it. You know, it's you can just say one word, but you know, it was about that comment there. My answers want me to. You know, it's just changing out your words and how you do things. So that's what you've learned from all the presenters. And $100. So I've got some comments. Hold on, slow down, guys. Which one is it? Angel Lynn? Is it Angel Lynn? Reaching out for the right support to keep. I've got 2 comments here. I believe Angel Lynn.
Yeah, that seems like it contributes.
Have youth meetings at clinic center. Okay, there is your winner for your $100. Marissa has decided, to have more, to bring the support for the youth to show up, So Angel Lynn, you won yourself a $100 Visa gift card. And so once again, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you to the Dakota Dunes for sharing this wonderful space with us and food over the last 2 days. Shimona for all the work she has put in. Sheldon, Sequin Ahtahkakoop, Nathan Arias, and myself, Willis Janvier. And that's Shimona right there. So this is where it all started from, the idea, is like she approached Sequin and made all of this happen. So she wanted to bring, take back power in the community and for the youth. And, I know we say a lot for the youth, but as adults, I believe we got to take that next step, that action to be able to, I need to change something for them, So with that, thank you, Shimona, Nathan, Sequin, Sheldon, Lanny, the presenters that all joined us here over the last 2 days, April Dawn, Alex Starblanket, Rachel Ahtahkakoop, Amber Dion, Haley, Cynthia and Sean Pikakoot, shout out to them, Nihio Hustle Clothing, Black Rain for the music on the first day, Cindy Tatusis, Jared Lee for the wonderful tunes last night, Marcy Whitefish, Casp, and yours truly, Deneyati Willis Janvier. So with that, we're going to sign off. If you want to say a couple of things and say see you later in Cree to all your relatives. Muistas. Muistas, she said. Aho, let's go. Everybody take care. Stay safe. Make sure, stay away from all the COVID stuff and the negativity within our nations and even in our province. So with that, Masi Chona Harusu Salutina, everybody, we're all related. Si Willis Janvier, Hushe, Nintelas, Tuats, and Lalash, Saskatchewan, Clearwater River, Dene Nation, band member at the SQ. And today we join you from the Treaty 6 territory, Dakota Whitecap. Ho, have a good day. Take care.